Chicago fans are coming into SeatGeek Stadium. They'll be hoping to be back here on Sunday for the championship, of course, in Chicago. Great tailgates there happening just before kickoff. Mention about Jason Emery. He starts at number 10, only his third game this season. You know him, Dylan Fawcett, playing with him at New York. He steps into literally the firing line with not a lot of rugby this season because Jason Robertson's away.
Well, Mike Hussey will be able, he'll absolutely be able for this. You know, he's got a vast amount of experience and he'll be looking to do Tori and his girls proud. But absolutely, this team will take under Jace.
Well, Old Glory DC need this man to step up because they faced the Chicago Hounds twice already in the regular season, and two of those games, of course, have been 2 losses. The Chicago Hounds have won every game. When you look at these highlights, Dylan, they have been tight, both in week 5 and then week 10. This one in Chicago, and then the other one being not so long ago. It's a team that has run Chicago very close. Absolutely.
You know, 3 of the 4 games have been decided by 1 point. But the thing with DC, they can frustrate you. You know, they frustrated Chicago many times. You know, so hopefully they can do that again tonight. But I just don't see it, Will. You know, I see it Chicago coming out there being relentlessly accurate and absolutely ruthless.
Yeah, they were 49-31 losers in Chicago and then 33-32. Right at the end, it was 2 Mason Flesh tries over the line that saved it for Chicago. Look at the defence, though, Dylan. I know you love talking about big hits because this was an area in which they were impressive against Chicago. Is this an area where maybe could be a factor of them winning tonight?
It has to be. It has to be absolutely everything. This is their DNA. You know, Chicago tried a few things the last day, like, you know, they frustrated them. But like I said, they have to be relentlessly accurate now today, or else they're going to play into DC's hands.
Defense has been their calling card. What I found interesting, though, was their offense has struggled. Second fewest tries this season. But they seem to step up against this team specifically. Week 6, 5 tries for them. Week 10, 4 tries. And that built some momentum. The last regular season game for them, 4 tries against Anthem. And I guess it maybe is just the mentality of you have to step up against the top team in the league.
Absolutely, and they have it in them. They've shown it, you know. But like, again, they frustrated Chicago. They scored in the back of a few mistakes. And, you know, like, again, it has to be their DNA. They have to step up again and try to frustrate them. Don't give Chicago a chance.
Won the possession, the territory battle, more than double the defenders beaten, over 100 more meters made for Old Glory.
Yeah, and head coach Simon Cross will believe in his side. They're the underdogs today, but as you mentioned there, Claudia, they have some good numbers behind them in those previous games. Talking to Simon Cross, Alex Corbusiero was pitchside with the head coach for DC earlier. Here's what he had to say.
Simon, huge day today, big task with the Chicago Hounds. How are you and the team feeling?
I think we're feeling confident. We've had a really good couple of weeks of preparation. We've got a really clear game plan today. We know how to beat the Hounds. We probably should have beaten them a couple of weeks ago, save for that last sort of 10 minutes. But no, we've had a really good week, and we're looking forward to this.
And what are some of the areas, like you talk in that game, was very, very close and even competitive here for large points of the match? What are the sort of areas you're focusing on?
Well, there's four key areas for us. We've got to kick well. We've got to keep the game as far away from our 22 as possible because they're the best team in the league at converting pressure into points from the 22. We've got to defend well, be physical, get high on edges, and kind of kill any momentum they have in their attack. But that's something we've done really well this year. We've got to be disciplined because any kind of mid-third discipline, you know, you give away a penalty in the middle of the field, you're back in your 22 defending drive. And then when they kick us a ball back, you know, we've got to be really good on our counter-attack. So those are the 4 areas we focused on this week.
And then obviously no Robertson's been one of the talking points. Just a little bit on Emery and stepping into that big role at 10.
Just a calm influence. He's been there, Super Rugby. He's played a lot of rugby at 10 as well. Good ball carrier, good distributor. Probably a bit more physical in the 10 slot, 10-12 channel. I suppose from a defensive point of view, he's a bigger man than Jace Robertson. But we'll no doubt lose a bit of the pace around Jason Robertson's game. But in terms of tactical nous and a rugby player, he just steps in and there's no real changes.
Awesome stuff, mate. Well, good luck out there today.
Thank you.
All the best, buddy. Take care.
Every time we've had Simon Cross, Claudia, he's always seemed very calm, very relaxed.
He should be confident in his team, right? I will say he's right. They were close games. If Chicago didn't have the 14 unanswered points in that last quarter of the last game, they could have won it, Dylan. You never played for Simon Cross, but you know him well.
No, I have a ton of respect for Simon, and he has to believe in his team today. You know, I just don't see it. But like, again, Simon is.
Jeez.
I mean, you know, I mean, what's he going to do? Go ahead and say that they're going to lose? No, he believes in his team. He believes in what he's done. He's absolutely a guy I could have got behind. I know I definitely would have loved to have played for him.
If there's a key facet though today, Dylan, like where is it? We talked about how good their defense is. Claudia said the numbers as well. it needs to be above and beyond. But is there like one facet in particular that could be a reason? I'm trying to get you to suggest maybe DC have a chance.
Listen, if they can keep their front row on the field healthy and strong but I really believe that it's going to come down to if any of the DC forwards leave the field too early, that's going to be a problem.
In a way, we're going to continue with this theme of trying to make an argument for DC. Is there some possibility that there's more pressure on Chicago because they're the undefeated team, because it's their third straight season reaching the playoff, but they haven't reached a final, because they're playing at home? More pressure, and it's almost like they're playing with house money on Old Glory's side.
They love this. They have been building for this for the last 3 years. These guys are prepped every day. They know what they need to do. Every day they must get better. Every day they have to wear that mantle. They had the guy Mike Petrie was telling me he wasn't on the bandwagon. Had to get his head shaped at the start of the year. But now it's like Chicago asserted their dominance early on, and they've shown every day that they have to make sure that they step up.
Well, I'm sure they will, both sides, step up today because it's playoff rugby. It's knockout rugby. Anything can happen. We've had some great tries involved from both these two teams, and we are looking for the try of the season. Don't go anywhere, because after this, we'll have more here on the halftime show. But this try from Lefebvre was up there as one of the very best for DC.
Old Glory wants to go quickly. How about John Lefebvre? Oh boy, it's a breakaway for Old Glory DC. John Lefebvre, I'll do it myself.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Tapped right into the breadbasket there. Back, and what a try for Chicago.
Who will book their spot, the Hounds or DC, in Chicago for the championship game this Sunday? You can book your tickets, though, by using that QR code there. Come along, for MLR's big game of the year. And actually, it's a full weekend, by the way. The MLR Fan Festival. Go to the website, check it all out. Events starting Friday, Saturday, and then the game on Sunday. Looking forward to it. But we need to focus on today and the players who are going to be involved in both the Hounds and DC and the matchups and some of the top performers. And let's start for Chicago Hounds, because the three contenders for the official MLR players of the season are three Canadians in Brock Webster, Mason Flesch, and Lucas Rumble. All three Canadians, as I mentioned, but they have been top performers. Let's start with Brock Webster here. Claudia, his numbers are off the chart. He is having a field day in the back there, and he's beating people for fun.
Yeah, when he goes, he is gone. It's tough to catch him. The most clean breaks in MLR with 18, the second most defenders beaten, and that often results in tries. A hat trick for him against Seattle in Week 5. Dylan, that's a guy I would think you want on your team.
Absolutely. He has been the signing of the season. You know, like I said earlier on, lads, I can't believe New England let them go, but that's probably the reason why they're on an early summer. But no, absolutely, I would have absolutely loved to have played with this guy. He is relentless. The man is an ultimate competitor, and he loves what he does.
He brings everything to the table. It's like one of those players when he gets hold of the ball, the crowd lights up, and I'm sure SeatGeek Stadium today will be keeping an eagle eye on him. Just look at this, making it look so effortless. I wish I ran like that in my playing day. Unfortunately, I was not.
You weren't far off.
Thank you, buddy. Lucas Rumble, Canadian captain and also Hounds captain. Claudia, he also has some very fine stats to his name.
Yeah, you see the tackles made. Their first player to make over 1,000 tackles in MLR, which is a stat that Dylan wants to disagree with. He's like, can we check the record books there? But either way, total dominance from him there.
And this guy, he walks into any locker room and he makes everyone around him better. You know, he is cool, calm, collected, and also his X factor. You know, his turnovers, what he does around the park. The guy doesn't make mistakes. He is relentless.
Well, he's also paired with Mason Flesch as well. Check some of these highlights of the other Canadian. He's been epic on both sides of the ball, set piece as well, and it's his handling ability, setting up that try for Ruben de Haas, and also scoring as well, Dylan.
Mate, he's the total package. You know, I'm so proud to see what he's producing on the field, because I know the growth that he's bringing to the locker room. I know what he's doing in that culture at Chicago, and I'm just really proud, really proud of him.
Second top try scorer in the regular season, right there, Will.
Yeah, he's right up there. Honestly, I think he has been, in my opinion, player of the season, but I don't want to be biased on this vote. The official vote will come out after the championship. Flip it, though, now to Old Glory DC, because if there are players that need a standout, it's all of them. But in particular, these men. We talked about this man in particular, because Dylan knows him well from playing with him at New York back in his time, in Ben Bonasso. The USA Eagle has been epic, both sides of the ball and in the set piece. And Claudia, once again, his stats have also been very fine this season.
Yeah, 138 tackles. That's top 5 in the regular season. Key to their set piece, too. Targeted the second most in lineouts, just underneath Legion's Jason Dom. Just how important is that part of the game for Bonasso?
Oh, man, he's my hermano. You know, he holds a deep spot in my heart. He is a very, very hard man, and he absolute talisman for DC. What he produces, the tackles, he'll probably put in 25 tackles and not even sweat today. You know, he's that good of a player. So, I mean, what he can produce and how he can get these guys going is going to be really special tonight.
Yeah, we're bigging up the defence. He's going to have to be epic in that department. As for the offence, and if they're going to score tries, it's in this man, John Rizzo. Probably the surprise package in this season in MLR. He's now in the USA Eagles wider squad. A great year for him in DC colours.
And certainly a player that Chicago maybe wasn't paying attention to enough in the first 2 games. 2 tries against him in Week 10. 6 tries for him in 9 games. 5th season with Old Glory, and maybe this is his season, Dylan.
Claudia, if you had mentioned John Rizzo to me at the start of the season, I'd have been like, who? But this man has stepped up. I mean, he has been epic. Look at this try. This is absolute X factor. And, you know, he really deserves that chance to play for the Eagles now and be in that squad. So, like, he has to produce that, though, again tonight. Or, you know, he really does.
Well, we shall see. He will need to score tries if DC have any chance. We're coming to the end of the show, which does mean I have to put people on the spot. And it's prediction time. Is there any way Chicago Hounds can be defeated? Or more, the question is there any way that DC can win tonight, Claudia, quickly?
I can't do it. Chicago.
Oh, do you? I don't even want to ask you. I think we know what you're going to say.
No chance. Chicago.
No chance? 0?
Hey, have you ever heard of David the Goliath? All I'm saying is we shall see more Kickoff is coming next here. Do enjoy. It's the last playoff game. Who will play California Legion in the championship on Sunday? It's Ben Holden, Bree Kim on the other side of this. Enjoy. Kickoff is next.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Second match in the semifinal round of the Major League Rugby Playoffs, and it comes to us from just outside of the beautiful city in the Midwest, Chicago, Illinois. The story of the season, the Chicago Hounds, 10-0, welcoming in Old Glory, DC in the 1-against-4 seed matchup here in this semifinal. It's great to be with you here on this Monday evening on ESPNU in the U.S., elsewhere around the world globally. Ben Holden, Bree Kim, Alex Corbisier will join us pitchside. Bree, Chicago has been the story of the season. Now the next challenge. Can they win this one to get into the final next week in their home stadium?
Well, it's the unbeaten host versus the team that nearly broke them just a few weeks ago. But as we know, playoffs footy means everything goes out the window. It's all on the line tonight. Chicago is salivating at what could await them next week. But DC, they're looking to make Chicago's nightmares come true.
Awaiting them is California, highest scoring playoff match in league history. They won last night in Seattle. Star-studded lineup for Chicago. Where do you start?
Well, it's the captain, Canadian international Lucas Rumball. He starts at open side flanker. He looks to create mayhem with his partners in crime in the back row. Mason Flesh at 6 and Jake Kinnevac at 8. Ruben DeHaas and Chris Hilsenbeck orchestrate at scrum half and fly half. And of course, Brock Webster continues to shine from 15.
You mentioned Old Glory. 2 weeks ago, a 1-point loss. Can they pull it off tonight? If so, they'll do it with this lineup.
Yeah, Captain Rob Harley captains this side tonight. Second row counterpart, Tavita Nungali, who will bring hard physical carries tonight. But the big story, no Jace Robertson tonight. He's back at home awaiting the birth of his first child. So Jason Emery steps up. He's going to be the one game driving at 10.
As we inch closer to the opening kickoff here in this match, Old Glory DC, they're in the white kits coming out here tonight, SeatGeek Stadium. They'll play the championship there next Sunday night on ESPN2 here in the U.S. and streaming all over the world in places like South Africa, New Zealand, parts of Europe, all over the place, in Canada as well. The pageantry of the MLR semifinal round. The 10-0 Chicago Hounds look to get into the championship match. We'll see if they can do it. Coming up next.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Here we go, coming up on the third meeting this season between these two for the right to go to the MLR Championship. And tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Sports Certified, powered by iHerb, the official online health market of Major League Rugby. Beautiful night for the semifinal match just west and a little south of downtown Chicago. It's a dog day evening. Our big dog, Alex Corbisiero, is there. He's got his keys, but he's also got some last-minute changes to the Old Glory lineups. Go ahead, Corbs.
Hey, Ben, buddy, Dogtown is rocking, and I'm a dog, and I'm absolutely loving it. But really, one of the stories coming out of Chicago, Calixto Martinez is out, Liam Fletcher is in at loosehead prop, a late change in the warm-up, and then looking at the game today, Old Glory have a tough task on their hands. They're taking an undefeated juggernaut on at home. And for me, they have to pitch a perfect game. They have to be smart with their kicking game. Keep the game in Chicago's half, because if Chicago get in your 22, they are not to be messed with. And then lastly, I spoke to Coach Steph Hughes. He told me that they've scored 9 tries in 2 games against this team, and they have no fear, and they're going to need that today. But it's now time for my favorite part of the game. Simba, hit it, buddy. Let's go.
There is Simba bringing out the match ball here. What a beautiful sight. Dogs in the park tonight. And there he goes up into the air, does Simba. And Derek Summers there, the man in the middle tonight. His 4th match this season in MLR in the middle. His first ever playoff match in this league. He will work as an assistant referee in the World Rugby Nations Cup. He'll work the Canada-Spain match in Edmonton on 4th of July weekend. Luke Rogan, Mike Lawrence in the ARs, in-stadium replay official, James Harrison, and our laws analyst, Amelia Luciano. She will be joining us remotely. We didn't hear much from her last night. We'll see how this one goes, only because the match dictated that. It was a high-scoring one, the highest scoring ever in the history of this league, and 9 seasons underway here in this one. The 3rd meeting of the season, Brie Kim, and the most important one. The winner goes on to the championship next Sunday night.
Yeah, and Old Glory has a tall task. We heard all about it in the pregame show and leading up to the kick. But for them, it just means that they have all the enablement to be able to throw the kitchen sink at these guys, leave nothing on the table.
The Chicago side, they lead the league in virtually every offensive category. There aren't many, I think, in the rugby world that think they can win. But we heard Simon Cross in the pre-match show with Corbs and Will and the Butcher, Dylan Fawcett, and Claudia in there. Very confident in what he said. He had 4 keys that he said he felt they had to do. They need to kick and keep it away from the 22. They need to be physical. They need to have discipline, and their counterattack's got to be on.
Yeah, and look, it sounds simple, but that is a lot of things to keep in mind. But we're taking a look here at the late change that Corbs pointed out. Liam Fletcher, you can see right there, first start for Old Glory DC. He faces his old team, the Hounds, played for them last year. Martinez being the late scratch. Old Glory now with the first put.
13 matches he played with the Hounds. So here we go into the first set piece of the match. John LaFave, what a season he's having. As Old Glory's 9, the feed here for the Flags as they're known. 8th all-time meeting. Chicago leads 4-2-1. Old Glory has won in Chicago just once. It came back in May of 2024.
Immediately.
Derek Summers there wearing the wireless mic. You'll hear him throughout the match, basically the 4th member of our broadcast team, Bree.
Yeah, and a very early call there. You saw Summers ding Rumble immediately for not releasing, and Rumble immediately pleading. It's something that we also saw in yesterday's match. One of the clear focuses from the referee team is making sure that these teams can have quick ball. And so if you are slowing it down at all, and you're not clearing the area, he's going to ding you immediately for that. And we're seeing that happen. And now Emery gets the first shot to put 3 points up.
Yeah, Jason Emery, 211 career points in this league. You see part of his resume. Grew up in New Zealand, very experienced, 62nd cap in MLR. But a spot that is not an easy spot to walk into. Right in, and here in the 3rd minute of this match, Emery with that strike, and he's got the first points here in this semifinal match. He's a veteran guy. He should be calm. He's prepared. Simon Cross said, look, we get him as many reps as we can, and now he's got the keys tonight.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Jace Robertson out for much of last year with the Liz Frank injury, and it was this guy who stepped in and took over the helm. So nothing new for him, and of course we wish the Robertson family the best as they await the delivery of their first child. But right now they're watching from overseas in Mount Maunganui.
That was his first kick of the season, in fact. But last year, to your point, Bree, he was 31 of 47 was Jason Emery. So he did play a ton in the absence of Robertson. So here's a ball taken back there by Brock Webster. What a season Webster's having. Interesting talking to Chris Latham about him. He said, I really think he's just scratching the surface, this guy. He's not even full potential yet, according to his head coach.
And look, that's scary to think about, right? He just broke out last year in playoffs and had a tremendous season. No wonder he's one of the nominees for Player of the Year. But here we go, get going in the back 3.
Noah Brown, first ever draft pick in Chicago Hounds history. He's a game changer. So is Charlie Abel. What a year he's had. Could very well be on the radar of Scott Lawrence with USA Rugby based on the season he's had. The Chicago Hounds side, they'll chuck it around like the Globetrotters at time. 69 tries, most points. They've just lit it up all year.
And what we just saw was when Chicago committed the penalty, DC immediately took the points on offer, went for the 3. Chicago not going to do that. They're going to go as far downfield as they can, because this is exactly the recipe, the secret sauce to their success. Draw the penalties in the middle third, get downfield, and then let the line out do the work.
You are dead right, partner. 69 tries. They have scored 48 from the line out. We look back at Brown here, Bree.
Yeah, and he has really come into his own, especially in the later half of this season. And just a big, heavy carry from Abel. But that's, Chicago wants their back 3 to be able to open up, exploit the edges. And here we get a good look at Chris Latho or Latham, I should say, his full name. The Wallaby looks on.
But a legend he is. 78 caps, 40 tries, retired #2 all time. Dylan Fawcett, who we chatted with pre-match along with Will and Claudia, said, look at his highlights, Ben. He was a heck of a player. He still looks like he could play. He was a 15, a fullback. Here's Chicago now. Deepest penetration either side has had yet. And there's a call from Derek Summers against Old Glory.
Shot. Now breakdowns just cut the corner, messy, okay. But here Hilsenbeck's not going to deny that opportunity. Good chance to tie this up.
So Chris Hilsenbeck last year led the league in scoring. This year he's right up in the top 5 as Hilsenbeck. In fact, at number 5, 74 points on the season for the USA Eagle. 35 of 50, 78%. And he's had a couple matches, Bree, where he hasn't even played. That's how deep this Chicago side has been. They've got Santiago Videla, the Chilean international, who's put up massive numbers in a reserve role. That's just the depth of this side this year.
And, you know, Latham has had a little bit of more flexibility in the back half of the season to be able to play around with the depth, try out different combinations, all in preparation for this last match and potentially next week's match. And so he's really been able to figure out who's third in the depth charts to be able to make that match day 23.
Well, we had a chance, you and I, we may get into this a little bit more in detail tonight. Will McGee, their general manager, I believe the number he told us, 31 of their 33 guys have played this year. That is saying something.
Truly is, especially in the short week. But
SQ here by him, though. We'll get it back for Ruben DeHaas. 44 caps for the USA Eagles. Pride of Jessieville High School, Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Here comes DC now, trying to punch back.
No, we're good.
We're level at 3 apiece. John Lefebvre, short side, he plays it. Into the hands of Corey Daniel. Breakout year for Corey Daniel, too, offensively. Mentioned Lefebvre and Daniel seeing a lot more carries this year.
Yeah, we knew last year he was quite the tackler and still is, but when we talked to him earlier this week, he said, just that, Ben. He said, one of the big areas that I need to work on, especially for my USA features, is being able to play in the width of the field, be that conduit between the forwards in the middle of the field and the backs on the edges. And we've seen him do that a number of times, some really nice tries from the outside, so they'll look to unleash him tonight.
3 tries for Corey Daniel this season. His USA teammate, Jason Dom, scoring last night. He looked like a flanker out there in space, did Dom on that try in the second half. In a big win for California. The winner of this one gets the Legion on this pitch next Sunday night, ESPN2 here in the U.S. They'll play for the Shield, the MLR Championship. Theo Ferree, the hooker for Chicago, 9 tries with it. Now Peyton Wall, he's always dangerous. There he goes, Wall. Finally taken down there, getting a piece of him. Helping out was Perry Humphreys. Huge part of this DC attack. Mason Flesh now back into the hands of Abel, who at times this year, Bree, has looked like a 9 the way he carries. I say that jokingly, but a little bit serious. He's got good speed, good feet for a big man. DeHaas frees it on to Flesh. What a year he's had. Beg your pardon, that was Caceres. Number 4, not 6. Derek Summers in there talking to Ruben DeHaas. This is Mason Flesh now. Hard to miss him with that haircut he's got going on. I'm curious as to when Petrie is getting his. Mike Petrie, of course, the Hall of Famer, part of our broadcast crews here, Major League Rugby. Work back through the hands of Abel. It's picked up by another USA Eagle, Paul Mullen, and another one grabs it, Tavita Nungali. Massive part as well. There's Daniel playing it back, and they'll kick one down. That was one of the keys. They want to try to kick and pin Chicago deep. But here's Noah Brown. Brown takes on the defender. Brown right there, head on with Ross Depperschmidt. 3-3 here in the 10th minute. Just a couple of weeks ago, a 1-point win for Chicago, the closest anybody has come to beating the Chicago side. That match and that effort from DC. DC had it 10 meters from the line in the final minute, the final passage. This one taken away. Peyton Wall comes up with it. Depperschmidt made the tackle. Here come the Hounds again. DeHaas frees it. Hilsenbeck. DeHaas quickly into it. Neil Ferree. Crowd at SeatGeek getting into it. They got great support outside, just outside, about 10 miles outside of downtown Chicago in Bridgeview, where the stadium sits. It'll be the second championship play there. Lepetti under pressure. Good job getting in there, but a better job by Lepetti. Tavita Lepetti trying to offload it, but he turned the ball over right into the hands of Jordan Jackson Hope.
And he made up for that one. He missed that first tackle on Lepetti and then turned that one over. And DC now looking to try to trap the winger here.
This is Peyton Wall. Just slices his way through.
Missed it.
A bit diminutive. He's shorter variety, but man, does he pack a punch. Good body on him, good thick body. This one, though, will find touch. And Old Glory will get back to possession offensively.
We're set. 2-2. Set.
Emery tricking everyone, including himself. But let's just take a look back here. Jackson Hope initially slides off of that, but look at the legwork of Lepetti, just making defenders miss, and saw Rumble out of the corner of his eyes, but did not see Jackson Hope making his way back. So that one doesn't go Chicago's way. Tavita Lepetti, you can see 26 caps. Watched his brother yesterday with the Legion, Alex Lepetti. Could we have a brother showdown next week, Ben? We'll see.
We could. We've got a stoppage here. Some medical attention here for Rob Harley. Getting looked at there for DC. Yeah, Tavita Lepetti is on the season, just to follow up on that. 2 tries, but he hasn't scored since week 3 against California in a match that was in this stadium. So they want to get him going. They've got so many weapons. And how do you go about containing that? What do you do?
We got to do something.
Well, I think it's just the patience and composure from DC. And here's a good look at the staff. Simon Cross stands south. Nick Purvis, the analyst.
We got to do something. We got to do it quick.
Just hiding right behind there. Steph Hughes as well. And Crossy is certainly going to be concerned about what's happening with their captain.
You're going to wrap that knee for Rob Harley. Missed some time earlier this year with a red card. He's back. He's such a key piece of their group.
Yeah, and just to go back to your question, Ben, the way that you stop it is the patience and composure, and Old Glory's very good at that. We've seen that in the last few passages of play, and staying nice and patient in the midfield, creating turnovers, forcing errors, as General Manager Will McGee looks on here.
Boy, we had a great time talking to him. It was a lot of fun, and threw in a couple Moneyball references. He was enjoying that. What his job entails, basically. I said, what is it, like Moneyball? You're just throwing magnets on the grease board? He said, kind of, but not really. We'll get into that as we go along in the broadcast, but he is watching this group that he has assembled this year. Old Glory trying to snap this 10-match win streak for Chicago. No side in Major League Rugby history has gone through the regular season unbeaten, but this Chicago side has done it. Last 2 years, New England has ended their season. And how fitting was that last week they cap off the perfect regular season by putting it to New England and keeping them out of the postseason. That was Kinnevac. He's a big unit. This is Charlie Abel again. Quickly lays back for the Haas. Spins it free, Hilsenbeck. Now Devoto swings out for Webster. Webster, the big man Flesh. One-handed ball back to Webster. Ran over the defender but lost the ball.
On the 22.
And it's going to be DC ball.
Boy, it's looking slick out there, Ben. Have seen a number of Old Glory players just slipping and falling. You can see right there.
Yeah, Humphreys.
But regardless, they are doing really well as using the sideline as the 16th defender, right? They know that Chicago's going to play sideline to sideline, but they're fine with giving up a few extra meters. They want to make sure that their inside defenders, though, stay up high so that they prevent the offloads back inside. Some good defense there, but also what's really impressed me about Chicago so far, their back three is standing up to the challenge. There's been a number of box kicks from the scrum half of Old Glory, Lefebvre, and they've done a really nice job of getting up, winning that high ball, or at least getting it backwards into the hands of their teammates. They continue to do that. Old Glory's going to have a long night ahead of them.
Here's DC now. Feed from John Lefebvre. Miscue there in Chicago. You see Ruben DeHaas right there. First one to celebrate the miscue, and Chicago's back in primetime position here.
Front row boys so happy with that one.
Picture, it's on the 22 right here.
And you can hear Summers just talking about that picture. But look, it's exactly what Glory doesn't want to do. Now Hilsenbeck just trying to get them back on the 5-meter.
Set up their line out, mentioned earlier. 69 tries on the season for Chicago, 48 they've scored in the line out. And I said to the Butcher, we were chatting before the match, I said, that was about what you guys were. Now, obviously, you played more matches, only a 10-match season. He said, yeah, that sounds about right. It's what they do. And this guy here with the throw, Theo Ferry, leads the league, 9 tries. He had 2 in each match against DC in the regular season, trying to get his hands on it. He's got it at the back there, going off that left side. Advantage here for Chicago. Kinnevac comes out of there. Den Hoot still trying to push in there. Piffoletti in there as well. DC trying to come up with it. They can't. There's the arm in the air. Summers says it's down and it's home. And that's 5 tries in 3 matches for Theo Ferry. Chicago leads 8-3.
You can see what it means. Fury's face just amped up, electrified. That's the 70th try for this Hounds franchise this year. Take a look. Perfect execution. Old Glory not able to stop it. Now they're getting turned around here. And you can see the ball just patiently in Fury's hands right there. Great shot. He's just waiting for it. Old Glory is not giving them any sort of challenge. And then Fury just finally gets to the whitewash. Take a look here. Abel and Flesh driving him through. First one for the Hounds.
So 9 tries in 9 matches in 8 starts. Make it 10 now, obviously. What an impact he's made coming in. Dylan Fawcett leaving Major League Rugby. Legend he is. Now Hilsenbeck trying to make this a 7-point match here in the 16th. Fans like it, and the ARs like it. It is good. So Chris Hilsenbeck tacks on 2 more. He's got 5 in the match, and it's 10-3 Chicago here, Bree.
We talked earlier about what DC's keys to victory were. We didn't really talk about what Chicago's keys to victory are. I mean, clearly they're doing well already, but it's fixing the 22. We heard in the pregame that Latho was talking about how they had a lot of unforced errors the last time that they played DC. So making sure that they stay very clinical with their execution. And then it's about winning the first 3 phases of each passage of play on defense. Old Glory scores most of their tries in the first 3 phases. So if the Hounds can stay patient, it forces Old Glory to kick because they don't want to lose the ball in the wrong part of the field. And then it just gives the Hounds the ball to play.
Contested ball here. It's Chicago. Casares in there to get it. Old Glory's only scored 33 tries this season. 70, as you mentioned now, for Chicago. 1 and 5th in the league coming into the semifinal round. Advantage here for Chicago. Look at Rumble. Just an absolute warrior in there. Hair flying. Took a shot, looks like, in the back of the head there.
Yeah, I got 2 of them.
Hilsenbeck now. Little chip through down off the turf at SeatGeek, and there's the whistle as Lepetti and Lefebvre tangled up, and we'll stop and reset.
Watch the tackle as well.
Yeah, Daha is just doing what any good scrum half is going to do. You see a DC player offside, you're going to run straight into him, draw that penalty.
A high tackle, and then
just a little gamesmanship, exactly what you want from your scrum half.
Yeah. Lucas Rumble, amazing on the defensive side, and 3 tries to go with. 91st cap, 111 tackles coming into the match tonight. He is their captain, 65 in his Canadian international career. And here goes Hilsenbeck to set him up again, Bree, for another lineup.
Look, Rumble is a freak of nature. I mean, he just puts his head where no one else will.
Yep.
Pillar, be on side.
That was Daniel.
Yeah, and look, these 2 are no strangers.
Yeah.
Foes, they face each other on the domestic stage, the international stage. Quite familiar with each other. Another clean take here.
Dan Hoot up to get it now. Here's a heavy punishing run delivered by Devoto. DeHaas quickly in. Theo Ferry to the 22, lays back to Haas. Kinnevac. I don't see too many rugby players out of Alaska, but he's one of them. Here goes Piffoletti now. Brother KP over in France, USA hooker for many years. Now to Haas, into the corner. What a kick, what a take, and what a move. Noah Brown dazzling the crowd at SeatGeek, and Chicago's got another try.
Look at the crowd
A series
there.
of infringements and then advantage of engagement,
Absolutely
tries them and
loving it. And
This is
Chicago
what
not
we're
even
when you get under
needing
pressure the next time
the
down here,
advantage.
someone's going to leave the field.
And you can hear right there, Derek Summers warning Old Glory. Take another look here.
We'll do
Daniel
now,
tried to
yep.
get that ball, but lost his feet in the ruck. And then DeHaas
Correct.
just saw his winger wide open and said, let me just put that on a silver platter for you, my friend. Oh, such a beauty, especially coming from the scrum half. Love those cheeky little kicks. Those were always my favorite as a player, Ben. And
Yeah.
good stuff from Chicago. They'll be glad to finish out that 20 like that.
We saw Andre Warner with one of those last night. Pretty play that Rufus McLean. Now Brown in that USA player pool, and McLean already in it, capped in his career. And now Hilson back from this side. From 5 meters out, we'll have our hydration break after this kick, this conversion attempt from Hilsenbeck. And Chris Hilsenbeck sticks another kick. He's perfect on the night. 17-3 is our score here in the 20th minute. We will step aside. Noah Brown, the most recent try scorer for Chicago. The Hounds are on top by 14 here in the semifinal matchup.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Chicago Hounds, Old Glory, DC on display here tonight on ESPNU here in the U.S. And I want to remind you that our first hydration break there was brought to you by Recover 180, the organic sports hydration drink built for today's athletes. Ben Holden, Bree Kim, Alex Corbisiero down on the pitch. Corbs, early observations from you, my friend.
Well, Ben, for me, it's the versatility of Chicago. They are playing 3 different styles at once. They've got the tight game, the physicality seems to be a little bit too much for Old Glory, and then we've already seen the difference they can do in the 22. They've mauled their way over, they've crossed field, and they're just holding on to a lot of possession. You know, Latham said at the beginning of the game they had to respect the ball, and so far they're doing that, and DC look a little shell-shocked, and they're really racking up the penalties against, which is also just feeding Chicago into the 22.
Great stuff as always, Corbs. Thanks. Hope you're enjoying that nice, cool summer night in Chicago. DC, this is a big passage for them, Bree.
Yeah, it sure is. They've got to make something out of here because the momentum you could feel just totally swung in Chicago's favor heading into the hydration break.
Theo Ferree scored in the 15th, and Brown off a dazzling kick from Ruben DeHaas. Dropped it right in the bucket for Brown. There he is, former Indiana Hoosier.
Okay.
He and Peyton Wall, both Indiana products. Noah Brown from South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, line up.
Brown did a good job of ripping that ball out of the ball carrier's hands, but unfortunately it last touched him. So Old Glory lucky here, still has possession. We heard Corbs just talk about physicality. Old Glory typically so good with their tackles. They don't miss. They had the best tackle success rate in the league with 83%. Right now, they're at 72.
Yeah, that's got to be better for them. Here's Ben Bonasso up to gather that in the lineout. See if DC can get their first try of the match here in the 22nd. Jason Emery opened the scoring in the 3rd, if you're just joining us, on a penalty goal kick. Hilsenbeck then came back with one, then Theo Ferree with his 10th try, Noah Brown with one 4 minutes later, and that's where we stand here from SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, Illinois. Carry there from Fletcher, who got the late call, and I mean late. Warm-ups were done, Bree, and they had to make the change
It's high.
There you see
he's not
and hear
tall,
Derek
but
Summers high on the
still high.
tackle.
Tight call, not messing around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Initially kind of looked like Lefebvre had slipped a little bit as well, but being very strict on that.
Fair.
So now, here's a good opportunity. And you see, because they're already down by 14, those 3 points, not what they need right now. They're going to try to go for the full try. Let's take a look here.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, and that's,
Mason,
yeah,
line,
that's
yeah.
a good call, because
Keep
that was
the gap.
clearly a
Do
high
not jump
tackle
across.
from Abel.
Get out of the line. Get out of the lineup.
Wrapped him right around the neck, did Big Charlie. No. Line out here for DC. Ben Bonasso in to take it again. Myhill at the back. Kirby Myhill.
Okay, he's up. He's up. That's good.
3 tries for Myhill.
Okay, that's once.
Great at throwing it. Leads the league and wins when he's throwing it, but you got to cash in now. That's what matters. Here's Myhill. Got a little bit of space. Kinnevac there. Couple meters shy. Chicago saying they've come up with it, and they do. Chicago's going to win the battle in there, and quickly, DeHaas got him going, and now the kick up into the air. DC will take the bounce. We're going to look back here, I think, Bree.
You're isolated.
Oh, boy. Mason Flesh. Man, he just got out of that ball so quick
but it's
and
a
went
penalty.
right into Hunt for that
different.
jackal.
It's a penalty, not a scrum.
And you see just going all the way back.
First penalty, isolated. He's holding on.
And then the second penalty was
you're right here.
not 10. Chicago just tried to go quick. They're going to punish you when they can, just keep you, when you're still recovering from that first penalty, they tried to go out
Not
wide,
10
and
on
now
the quick tap.
Hilsenbeck just
He
going
got
to
it right
take
in his
some
face.
meters,
What do
but
you
we'll see. It looks, is that going to stay? No, it's far out.
Sails out. We'll get another look back here at what all took place, Bree.
Yeah, so you can see here, Myhill gets around. And you could just see Flesh able to get his arms wrapped around, show the picture that he wants the referee to see, and you see DeHaas was just taking off after that.
It's a
Lightning
not 10,
quick.
so yeah.
There's a look at Mason
Yeah,
Flesh.
yeah.
Brother Noah was part of the Chicago group in the last couple of years, no longer with him,
No
at least on the
material, no material.
playing side, maybe in the academy, but good family of Canadian rugby players. Here's Brown, pins and nails Webster outside. Peyton Wall, here he goes, offloaded it, but he threw it away right into the hands of Old Glory DC, and it was Depperschmidt coming up with it. So DC getting it back. They're inside of their own 22, though.
No,
Great recovery from Corey Daniel and company. Initially, that starter play that they drew up looked to be executed quite perfectly. Big breath of relief for Old Glory.
There's Peyton Wall, drafted the year after Noah Brown, both out of Indiana. Here's a look back.
And it's just the loop from Hilsenbeck that causes the confusion there in the midfield defense. And good run there, but Daniel just does so well to recover, and Jackson Hope, again, in those channels, making sure that those offloads don't get back inside. So the recovery defense is good, but now they got to make something happen so they can get the ball back in their hands.
That's their main man right there. Theo Ferree off the hands of Casares. Miscue in that line out. In Chicago, the only side in the league that has a line out and scrum over 90%. Their scrum is at 95%. Their line out just a touch over 90. DC back with possession here.
No. Use it. Good.
John Lefebvre sends it skyward. Webster so good with those takes. Dynamic in the air.
Okay, make it
Dynamic on the ground, too.
Let it come.
And that's a better chase from Old Glory, from Rizzo and Daniel to just drive him some meters back. And now what they've got to do is force the kick so they can get the counterattack going with their back three.
Use it. Not out. No.
When they played a couple of weeks ago, DC had multiple leads in the match, but right now they're down by 14. Unable to gather that one there. That was the fullback for DC. Hoyland trying to get it, 15.
Yeah. First touch here.
So a double knock on.
And initially off that kick, right, really good hang time from DeHaas so that Wall can chase, excuse me, Brown.
Okay.
can chase onto it, because as you saw there, Hoyland just wasn't able to get it cleanly, and it's
continue to push
just
forward.
taking away the weapons that Old Glory are trying to play with.
Derek Summers, little discussion with the front rows. Again, his first playoff match. Hard to believe, but those are the facts. Derek's been refereeing for a long time.
Let's go, Ruben. Come on.
Fourth this season in the middle for Derek Summers in Major League Rugby.
Bind.
The beautiful game. It's free, it's available. Advantage Chicago. Rumble will pick it up. Was off his right boot. Now to Haas. Look to get some shape here and work their way down the pitch. Devoto offloads back to Ruben to Haas. To Haas. Into the hands of Webster. Webster sidestepping, but he's slowed up and greeted and dropped by Rob Harley. Fellow Canadian on Canadian crime there. Look out, Lepetti took a hit to make a play, but they mishandle it. And we're going to come back and reset. It was forward. The pass, that is.
Number 1. Or the whole team, really. The whole team. The whole team.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Not just Fletcher. Everybody else, and that's just keeping them ahead, right? Because they're these second and third pieces where Old Glory is able to force these errors. They're just coming a little bit too late. Penalty count right now just going against them. They've got 6 and counting, 3 times the number that Chicago have. Just take a look here, and you could hear it right there from Summers. Discipline is the issue, but look at that lateral movement from Webster. So hard to tackle, just shoving off of several different guys, and then finally, combination of Harley, of King, get him down.
Yeah, Chris Latham told us, we touched on it earlier, but he said he still doesn't know how good he can be. And Latham was an outstanding world-class 15 in his day, so if anyone knows, it's Chris Latham, head coach of the Chicago side. Here they come again. Kinnevac, this guy's an absolute unit.
Leave.
To Haas.
Leave, everybody.
Banging on the back of Brown, and Brown got cleaned out in the breakdown there. Just part of the game. To Haas, on for Lepetti. So tough to tackle him.
Get out.
Never say die attitude, never quit attitude for Lepetti. Ball down on the floor, Rumble. Still free, Kinnevac picks it up. Here goes the big man, Kinnevac. He puts another one down. What a season Jake Kinnevac is having for the Chicago Hounds. His 3rd try of the season.
He is offside? Yeah.
Big rins for that big man right there.
Trying to get out, so I'll give you that. But the discipline has to improve down here. You okay?
Just some more communication from Summers. Got it off of the bounce. Take a look here. Already a penalty against Old Glory. Ball hits the field and then just picks it up off the bounce. Old Glory tried to flood up, tried to take advantage of it and win that ball back, but just didn't quite go in their favor. And you can see the hands on the hips there from Old Glory. Kinnevac, loving that.
Second round draft pick is Jake Kinnevac.
It's not fair.
And he is a big, big man. The number 8 here, Mac Jones, not able to play this week for Chicago. Massive piece of the Chicago Hounds franchise. And there's a good look at the product of Alaska. Have you met another player from Alaska in this sport?
Lev Kelter, my friend.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good one. That's an easy one.
There you go.
There aren't many. Impressive stuff. Hilsenbeck continues to be perfect. There's Jake Kinnevac, 24-3. If you're DC, somehow you've got to hit the brakes defensively and get your attack going, Bree. How do they do that?
I mean, look, they're trying to disrupt in the breakdown, but they are not getting the calls, and now Summers is going to pay even more close attention. That's what he's been doing the last 20 minutes. They're not getting the pictures that they want. They have to be more disciplined, and right now they have to figure out some way to be able to at least get some possession here.
Play.
Force the kick right here, but they have to win that counter attack. They have to win the kick back.
Simon Cross, since he's been the head coach of Old Glory, he's had this franchise Under the guidance of Chris Dunleavy, Paul Sheehy and company in the playoffs every year. Look out, Wall putting him under pressure, and looked like Emery took a shot in the back of the head there. He is reaching at his head. He reached for it twice. He's still down on the right side. Now out of your picture. I'm sure we'll get looks back at this and we can show you, but he took a body part to the back of the head.
Hold on. Time's up. We got
and he's still down, Bree.
It's a loose ball. They're both diving for it. I don't think that's foul play. I think that's just a rugby collision. They're like
that phrase,
yeah,
rugby collision.
Play,
let's look back here, Bree.
I did see it. You okay, mate?
Just the knee to the head.
Left knee, yeah.
I got you.
Agree, that's just a rugby collision there.
They're doing
How
it at the same
unfortunate
time.
with that
It's not clearly one guy on the ground getting dived on. Jason, you okay?
So it looks like Jason Emery's all right. So Amelia Luciano, our laws analyst. Amelia, what do you think? Do you agree with what took place and what we're seeing there on that call?
Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's just two players going for the ball on the ground, and unfortunately one's head is underneath the legs of the other, but no foul play there.
Good.
All right, good stuff. Amelia Luciano with us tonight, our laws analyst here on this Monday evening. Here comes Lepetti, kicks one through, but it's going to roll and bounce and take a left turn into touch. Chicago up 21 here in the 33rd.
Yeah, and they can afford to take those chances right now.
I'm just going to free kick you. Understand me? Stay out of the tunnel.
Oh, I missed my dog. Let's take some mutts to the pound. Hashtag MLR 2026. Get your tweet on the air, and love seeing the dogs.
John,
look at all those good boys and girls.
Love seeing the dogs. I miss my guy Geronimo at home.
Hold it up.
Probably asleep watching the game right now.
Charlie, go around, Charlie.
Chicago Hounds in control here, 33 minutes in, trying to get to the MLR Championship for the first time in their franchise history. Old Glory's never been. Webster, another brilliant play back there. He pins it. He finds Wall. Peyton Wall on the run. Two players collide, and Peyton Wall, another brick in the wall. Chicago 29-3 on the try by Wall.
The Chicago Hounds absolutely suffocating. Just on the counterattack, giving them absolutely no way to respond. And it all started from that man right there. The perfect take out of the air. Here we go, goes up for that ball, wins it, and stays on his feet. And then the presence of mind to get it to his counterpart. And Old Glory, unfortunately, took themselves out of the play. Peyton Wall realizes nobody else is on him, and now celebrating. Look at that. Love that celebration from the winger. The Hounds right now, they're back three. So dynamic, so powerful, setting them apart tonight.
Oh, my goodness. What a beautiful play. And Hilsenbeck is perfect, 31-3. Chris Hilsenbeck now is 5 of 5 from the tee in this match. And all in all, we're just another brick in the wall. What a run, what a carry. Peyton Wall knows how to finish, knows how to play this game. That's why he's part of USA Rugby now. I remember the first time he made a big play his rookie year, and Will Hooley, who hosts our pre and halftime and studio show, you all know Will that follow this league, was like, get this guy on the Eagles. He was adamant about it. He's finally gotten there as his development has come along. Chicago in absolute control here, 31-3 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Ruben DeHaas, first time he's played in a league semifinal since he was playing with Saracens back in 2023. There's the take back there by Hoyland, but immediately Chicago all over him like a hot rash. And they win another penalty here, Bree Kim. Everything going the way of the Chicago Hounds.
Man, they are just snuffing them out. The fans absolutely loving it. Fury, we talk about him so much at the line out, but how about that for just the recognition of that jackal? And man, McGee just looks too calm and collected. Look, there's still plenty of time. They're not going to celebrate until the very end.
And that's one of those signings. They knew they had to replace Dylan Fawcett. All-time leader in tries in this league, international, USA Eagle. And again, we talked with Will about that. It was fascinating. I think we all had a great time talking through how he constructed his team. The most impressive thing to me, a couple things, the depth. And there you see Simon Cross just sitting there on the left saying, what is going on here? His side right now is on the wrong side of being in one.
I mean, they're absolutely deflated right now.
Yep.
And you got to look to some of these leaders, right? Especially in these back row guys like Daniel, like Bonasso, or even just individual moments of brilliance, right? We saw LaFave have a big one last week, but just something to get energy back into these guys' sails, because right now there's nothing.
Yep.
No, mate, you don't have a bind. You're not bound. You don't have a bind, Charlie.
Derek Summers telling Charlie Abel you didn't have a bind. Here comes Old Glory now. Into the hands of a very talented player. That's John Rizzo. Breakout year for him. 6 tries. Ian LaFave and Corey Daniel, I'd say, would be in that category of breakout years for DC. And Kinnevac trying to come up with that ball. Had it. Did not keep his hands on it. Now it's spun back by Emery. To the right boot goes Jordan Jackson Hope here. Trying to pin the Hounds in. That one's going to find touch, though. But they pin him back.
I like that kick there. Of course, losing possession, but just putting Chicago back into their 5. Didn't really have any other option from there. But look, you got to chip away slowly, right? You get the free kick off of the scrum, and then you tap and go, and you get downfield. Still have a huge mountain to climb, but DC just fighting back.
Yeah, if you're DC, you got to have a turnover here. You've got to. Here's Kinnevac. All he does is pick up about 6 meters. He is a big young lad.
Not out.
With a ton of speed as well.
Good.
DeHaas. Right up there in terms of league leaders and kicks retained. That one won't be, of course, but that's a souvenir for somebody from Skokie.
Oh, and that one feels it cleanly by, check out those overalls. Loving that.
Yeah. Chicago Fire Department look. The blue and white, the great city of Chicago.
If you don't bind. You didn't. You had a fist.
Derek Summers still doing what he does. Here's the throw now. Bonasso. Good execution. Here comes DC, but that's mishandled by Emery.
It's not offside. He was put onside.
It's a knock on Jason Emery.
Yes.
He's got to just shake that one off, and just the body language there, just the frustration here. But right now, Abel going to make sure that Summers sees that he's got the clear bind.
Okay.
So they get ready to kill out this last minute. Oh,
in front of just over 3,000 fans in attendance tonight.
Got a good shot of Corey Daniel in the blood, just dripping down his face. That's rugby at its finest for you.
Sure is. And I will add, I'm told, about 80+ dogs in the venue tonight.
I think that's the best stat of the night.
Very nice. From L. Does a great job in the front office with our league. All Chicago here. Final 45 seconds. Winner goes on to take on the California Legion. What a show from Kobe Milne last night. Massive night from him. He and Kutzer went back and forth. That one slipped out of the hand, it looked like.
The tackle for me.
Brock Webster, and it's going to come back here, and ball going to be turned over here.
Yeah.
They were playing advantage. My apologies.
Everybody. That's the whole team.
So Chicago take another run here?
I know.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to, right? Go for the line out.
Yeah.
It's working so well, and just don't let DC think that they have any shot coming back in the second half, right? If you put more points on the board in these last few minutes, boy.
Demoralizing. And I'm sure that's how they feel now.
Yeah, that's tough.
Down by 28 here, into the red here in the first half. Hooley, Dylan Fawcett, Claudia Belafonte will take it through halftime.
And then when they come in, you can move.
They're going to go on another passage here and try to get more points here.
I got you. Let's go, Green.
Pifoletti with the instruction for Theo Furey. His 10th try in this first half. They go short with it. How about that? The flush. Here goes the hooker. Perrin offloads DeHaas. Tried to play it back. The flush. And it's in the hands now of John LaFave.
He's in touch.
But he went into touch.
We're done here.
We're done here. We are done, says Derek Summers. The ball was knocked on. Bree, a thought from you before we go to break on this first half.
Well, you could hear Fury calling that trick play even before they kicked it downfield. Chicago sitting nice and pretty, feeling quite good about themselves. DC, they've got to dig deeper than they ever have all season if they want a fight to get back to next week.
28-point lead for the undefeated, unblemished Chicago Hounds. 31-3, they lead Old Glory DC. Will, the Butcher, and Claudia will take it through halftime on the other side.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Tap right into the breadbasket there. What a try for Chicago.
It's safe to say it's been a one-sided affair in this last playoff game ahead of the championship on Sunday. Chicago Hounds leading 31 points to 3. 4 tries in total. It's been a dominant performance. Incredibly, 5 times the amount of carrying distance as well by the Hounds compared to DC. Myself, Will Hoody, joined by Claudia Balafado and former MLR legend Dylan Fawcett here in the studio. Dylan, you're looking at these highlights. It really has been all Chicago.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a joy to watch. They are enjoying their rugby out here. But it's all going to be down to the first 10 minutes here now in the second half. You cannot even give DC a sniff. They've got to get out there, be as relentless as they were, how they finished the first half, and we could see a big score.
Man, the floodgates have just opened. We talk so much about DC's defense, and I don't know, those last few tries, it was really in the 29th minute with the Kinnevac, that was the first try to really set it open, and ever since then, they're just running away with it.
Listen, they frustrated Chicago in the first 10 minutes. I mean, I couldn't believe to see Chicago go for points. I haven't seen that all year, you know, and obviously it's finals footy, but they've got to just trust their DNA. They've got to be as relentless, like that maul. That was one of the finer mauls I've seen.
Yeah, the numbers are coming in, and I said a one-sided affair in that first 40 minutes. Claudia, I think your job here is pretty simple.
I know. I'll read it out to you guys in case you're not looking. The defenders beaten is what jumps out at me. Dylan, 25-3 there, 8 clean breaks for Chicago, and we saw that very clearly. The possession and the territory battle, though, 64% in favor of Chicago when it comes to possession.
Yeah, they've just been ruthlessly clinical. You know, they've just shown that they have so many weapons, like we talked about at the start. You know, every man is a threat here on the Chicago team.
I wonder whether DC can maybe turn it around. I don't know. It looks like very one-sided affair here at the Chicago Hounds SeatGeek Stadium, where the championship will be. More here on the halftime analysis. Don't go anywhere. We will see you after this.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
The fans have been out there in full force all year, to be fair, for the Chicago Hounds. They still hold, by the way, the old mate, the Supporters Cup. Great to see them there, and they will be hoping to be back at SeatGeek next week for the championship. Sorry, on Sunday for the championship. Make sure you follow all the MLR channels across the social media platforms, including X. I was about to say Twitter, but it's X. And Claudia, you've also tweeted today.
I have. It's a very special day. It's my mom's birthday. She's becoming a rugby fan. I swear she is. We're slowly getting her there. And yeah, it's her birthday. So shout out, Mom. Love you very much. Thank you for everything you've done. She's my #1 supporter. So love you, girl. And thanks for watching. We're getting into rugby.
She's an MLR fan. We love it. Just before we go, 10 seconds, Dylan. What does Chicago have to do to keep the foot on the throat?
I want them to take it to another level, Will. I want them to send a message to California and say, listen, guys, this is what's coming next week.
See you after the break. Second half next.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Tap right into the red basket.
Welcome back here. Just about set to begin the second half. Simon Cross, Old Glory DC head coach, making his way out. When he talked to Corbs pre-match, he had 4 keys that he told Corbs he felt if they did those things, they'd be in the match. Corbs, why is this match the way it is, and how does DC chip away?
Well, none of those 4 things have come to fruition for DC. If you're looking at Chicago Hounds, they're a 10-0 team, and they're playing like it. That is a 10-6, 10-7 round if you're a boxing fan. And really, if you're looking at Old Glory, it all started for me from some of the kicking game. Not trying to single out Emery too much, but they are missing Robertson out there. Their general, you take Brunson out of the Knicks, they don't win a championship. I feel that's a very similar moniker right now for where DC are.
Appreciate it, Corbs. Here come the Chicago Hounds. A record-setting season, first side to ever go unbeaten in the regular season. 10 matches, 10 wins, max points. They got 50, a bonus point in every match under Chris Latham there. Their average margin of victory, Bree, nearly just a skosh under 21 points per match, the most in MLR history. New England in 23, when they won the Shield, they were in the low 20 points at 20.2. Amazing what they've done. What's your take on the match so far?
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's been a one-sided affair, as was mentioned earlier. But right now, Old Glory, as you can see, Emery just getting ready to get things underway. It's one thing right now. The message is very clear. You have to get points on the board in these first few minutes. If you don't, boy, it's going to be a long second half.
It sure is. And there's a change here as Simon Cross going to his reserves. Former #1 pick Rick Rose is now into the match wearing number 19. He's a lock for them. And our laws analyst, Amelia Luciano, is always looking out. She sent us a note and said, hey, want to let you know this is Derek Summers' 54th match in the middle tonight. And when TMO was around, he did more of that than anyone in the history of this league. So first playoff match for Derek in the middle tonight. He's our referee. Luke Rogan, Mike Lawrenson are the ARs. In-stadium replay official is James Harrison. And, of course, Amelia Luciano is our laws analyst. Ben Holden, Bree Kim, Alex Corbisiero pitch side, and all of our crew. So Harley out, Rose in. Mindset, mentality. I mean, what's going through the minds here at halftime? You're down 28 if you're DC, Bree.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get hands on the ball, and you have to create something out of nothing. I mean, you look at the possession and the territory stats from the first half, and of course, Chicago dominant, but 64% for both territory, for both possession. And you gotta it's the individual moments, right? You gotta dig deep and find something to make it work. And then we can talk about the breakdown in a moment, but I'll let Chicago play right now.
Here's Peyton Wall now. Both the former Indiana Hoosiers on the board tonight. That's a big win for Old Glory DC. They got to take each one as they come. One little victory at a time, right?
That's right, and I just had said the breakdown.
Yep.
And the 2 centers right there from DC immediately going in and winning it. Here's the thing, they were hunting for that ball all first half, but they weren't getting the pictures that they wanted. Derek Summers kept calling infringements against them, rightfully so. But when you aren't able to get the pictures that you want on defense, Chicago, they just inch away, penalty after penalty, but that kick doesn't go to touch. No. That is a huge error from DC.
Yep, now Hilsenbeck sends it into the seats about 5 rows deep. Great half for Chris Hilsenbeck on the tee, 5 of 5.
And we've seen so much athleticism and skill from this Hound side. And what's really helped unlock that has been in the breakdown, right?
Yep.
You're getting the quick ball. DeHaas is able to play as soon as he wants. And it's all that work, clearing the tacklers out, clearing the jacklers out of the ruck to make it easy for your scrum half. And that's why they've been able to play so quick. DC's had a really tough time, and that's been a lot of attacking pressure on them. And right now, as they start to go through this passage of play, they need to do the same thing. Clean out those breakdowns, see what positive meters they can create.
Here's Humphreys out on the edge, tripped up. That was Webster out there in space that made that play.
Let go.
Voice of Derek Summers, 4th member of our broadcast team, as always, on rugby matches. The referee with the wireless on. Lefebvre quickly to it. Emery. Now Jordan Jackson Hope. Big stick delivered there by Mason Flesh. Lefebvre frees it. Now into the hands of John Rizzo. Half dozen tries this season. Nothing doing here. Ben Bonasso. Dan Hoot wrestles him down to the floor. Rose. Jackson Hope. A couple meters before he found his way down to the floor. And now here's the fullback. That's Damian Hoyland. He's got 3 tries this season. They could use one from him at this time. They'll take it from anybody. Here comes Corey Daniel. Corey Daniel scored in this series this season. Such a hard-working guy is Daniel. But it's not released in time, says Derek Summers.
Well, and it's actually holding on to the ball from Daniel. Rumble doing what he does so well, hunting there. And look, Old Glory did much better in that passage of play. They were able to get some positive meters, get that ball back as far back as they could for Lefebvre to play on with it. Corey Daniel, though, right there, initially tackled and then was able to get up again. But the support just wasn't there in that moment. And look, now they get to play again. Kick doesn't find touch.
Jordan Jackson Hope now. Humphreys. Wall takes him down. Lepetti first to him. John Lefebvre. Wonderful season he's had. He hardly played previous years. Played in college at Old Dominion there in the great state of Virginia. Here's Ben Bonasso. Coming to DC after he was in Miami last season. Rose in there on the clean out for Old Glory. Lefebvre, Ngali. Now they'll try one, they'll kick it. Got a chance to get this. Can they get home? Daniel with a kick. Webster back there. Webster gets in front of Daniel and keeps Corey Daniel from getting his hands and touching that ball down, which, of course, you have to touch it down to the ground in this sport if you're new to it.
Yeah, and just cleaning it up. Daniel frustrated he couldn't get that one. Let's go back, though. Take a look at this big hit. Indecision from Jackson Hope, and Flesh just teed him up and lit him up. But here, later in that passage of play, Daniel gets tackled, gets right back up. Rumble's just waiting, though, and then just gets his hands on the ball. And DC wasn't able to make anything out of that one, nor this last passage of play, but I like that kick. It's more creative. They're getting some better moments, but they have to get into that try zone.
They are. Advantage here, says Derek Summers, for Old Glory. Big Tavita Ngali. Dropped there like a tree by Rumble. Emery. Jackson Hope now behind his right hip there for Humphreys. Humphreys drags Devoto. Ali Devoto, very established overseas in his career before coming here last year. A couple years ago, he came overseas to play here in the league. We'll reset for the call here from Summers.
Theo, you're just cutting it early. You did that same thing there earlier. You're just coming from the side. The tackle's complete. Be outside. Come through the gate, yeah.
Good management there from Summers. Just clear communication with the players.
Yeah. We're good.
Gives Old Glory a nice opportunity.
Hey, okay.
Well, they've had it here as we come up on 6.5 expired here in the half. They pretty much had the possession, most of it here in a short standpoint, short period of time out of the gate. Emery will kick the touch, set him up for a line out. You'll look to go to Myhill here as we look back here, Bree.
Green one, sub.
So just take a look at Furry right here. You can see just hips are not squared. They're not coming through the gate. That's the terminology you use for coming through the ruck cleanly. And so Summers just reminding him after that last passage of play, hey, don't do it again.
Yep. Myhill. Bonasso.
That's tight, that's good. It's your own man, own man took it down.
Myhill still at the back. Paul Mullen trying to yank bodies out of there.
It's got to come out quicker than that, man. Quicker than
But Chicago comes up with another stop for them at their own 5, or right around their own 5 anyways.
Man, that's just gutting for DC.
Yep.
Free kick.
Initially looked good, got some momentum off that line out, but now Chicago wins the free kick, and they're just going to take their time.
You may have seen number 17, Jake Turnbull. He's in the match now, prop for Chicago. And they know how to get behind a team in the great city of Chicago. Fan cam, MLR fan cam, and there you go.
Jake.
spin-off of Nacho Libre. I know you've seen that movie 100 times, right?
Where's Jack Black?
There you go. Wow, look at you. Love it. Hashtag MLR 2026. We'll read your tweets on the air. Been fun doing that throughout the season. We've come up with some pretty creative ones to get them in there, throw them in there. They'll get them in the queue, and they'll pick the best ones. We'll read them on the air.
Okay, let it come, let it come.
8.5 gone in the second half. Winner goes on to take on California. Legion will return to this stadium where they got doubled up early in the season by Chicago. Will they play Chicago, or will DC make what would be a historic comeback? Here's Humphreys now.
On.
John Lefebvre. Now Bonasso keeps, takes on Jake Turnbull. Jason Emery. Chicago, as good as they are offensively, they're also the best defensive side in the league.
Advantage again, that's 4.
In terms of the points they've allowed this season, and just 3 on the board tonight. Now Emery gonna give this a shot. Out in space, Webster trying to make the play, but it's in the hands of Humphreys. Perry Humphreys, he tried to kick it ahead.
We're gonna come back. Time's off.
And slow to get up, Old Glory player.
There's White here.
You heard Derek Summers, the time is off here.
Jimmy, I'm gonna look at that tackle. I'm just looking at a tackle from green, yeah? And you got a little... Yeah. Time is off, I'm gonna look at something. Yep. Jimmy, I just want you to pull up this tackle by 4 green. Show it to me at real speed. Okay, and then do we have another angle? If he wraps. This one, this is the angle.
That's Casares they're looking at here.
Okay, Jimmy, any other angle? Okay, I'm looking at his right arm. Play it slow. Okay, his arm is up. His arm is up. Okay, he does make an attempt. Okay, show me the wide shot, just for the mark. Okay, perfect.
What is it?
Yeah, we have 2 penalties. We have one in the middle and then one a little closer to the touchline. They're almost the same distance. Yeah.
Both these sides still have their challenge. Nobody's challenged yet. There've been
number 4. It's a late tackle.
2 of these we've looked at here so far tonight. Referee initiated, and you heard Derek Summers with the ruling there.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned earlier, Ben, right? And we got this from our laws analyst, Millie Luciano. Summer's so good with the TMO that we had in years past. So, look, a video review for him ain't nothing.
No big deal. So that's the way this one washes out. And again, Old Glory with an opportunity here. They're going to be in primetime position. Looks like they'll be about 8-9 meters out from the line here. There's Luke Rogan, one of the ARs, along with Mike Lawrenson tonight. So Myhill goes to work again here in the 50th. Into Rick Rose. Myhill gathers in at the back, as those hookers do, to maybe get the ball or steer that or do both. Now Myhill's got it. Good look at it there from our camera crew. Kirby Myhill, Charlie Abel trying to get a hold of him. Said, get over here, I'm trying to get that ball out. DC trying to get home. They don't have a try yet in the match.
Still fighting for it. Still fighting. He's got it.
Lefebvre battling with Rumble. Lefebvre comes away with it. Works it back now. Lepetti first to the ball carrier. Lepetti trying to steal that ball out of there. Depperschmidt in there.
Stop, all of you, stop, all of you, stop, just slow down.
Corbs, you've been in a couple of these dust-ups. What's going on there?
Well, honestly, Ben, it's getting a little feisty there. Old Glory finally starting to shoot some shots, but what is impressing me is the defense of Chicago. The old moniker, defense wins championships. Yes, they're high up on the scoreboard, but that's phenomenal work there. The ability to keep that maul out there right at the end. Watch the way that the players adjusted. They filled the gaps, and then the backs even came on the short side, so they weren't even a breakaway, and that allowed time for Rumble to work his way through the middle and get the ball ball, then they stop them in the 22. There's been multiple big defensive moments. This is a scary team right now when they can combine all these elements together.
No doubt about it, Corbs. They've only allowed 39 tries. They came in before the start of this match tied with Old Glory. Obviously, Old Glory's given up 4, so they're now up to 43. But Chicago, #1 now in that category, defensively, and 255 points is all they've given up. Both #1 defensively for them.
That's outstanding, right? And I mean, just before this game, just knowing that they were tied for tries conceded, but the Hounds just have been excellent defense on full display here. Again, through the back three, too. We just got another good look at it. Their counters have really been staunch.
Bonasso with a big hit on Ruben DeHaas comes to the territory now. Here come the Hounds now. Brown plays it out there into the hands of Lepetti. Lepetti kicks one down. Look at Mason Flesh out there trying to track it. Oh, it hopped and set right up for him. Mason Flesh, when it's going your way, it's going your way. That is 9 tries on the season, and Chicago leads 36-3.
It's getting a little bit loose, okay?
Flesh is just trying to chase his teammate Fury to the top of the leaderboard for tries on the season. Take a look here. They spin it out wide. Great little kick from Lepetti. And crazy to see Emery just being chased down by 3 Hounds players. Take a look here. Another nice little angle. Boy, you're going to see the 3 guys just coming at you and just didn't even dive for that ball, but Flesh, man, he's chased a number of those balls into the try zone. That's becoming his reputation.
Not have the kick first. Okay. Hold on, time off.
So Derek Summers.
Okay, we're looking at foul play in the ruck, challenged by Chicago. Previous
our first challenge. Amelia, if you're with us, give us your thoughts. What do you think they're looking at here? What did you see?
Yeah. I didn't see anything in the breakdown there. It wasn't clear, but they're looking for something dangerous that happened. Probably a clear out.
Okay. Yeah, Jimmy, let's cue that up. 51-39. Okay, play it through.
You don't really see much there, do you, Amelia? Nothing really of notice, do you?
No, nothing standing out to me there. That might not be the exact right moment, though. They're looking at potentially something different than we are.
All right, stay with us. We'll listen in here to Derek Summers, too, and keep working you in when we can. Great to have you with us.
Play that through, Jimmy. Yeah, just from here. Okay, he does have a bit of hair there. There is a tug, but he lets go.
Someone's hair got pulled, it sounds like. That's Paul Mullen in there on Abel. Yeah. Well, the referee term, Amelia, clear and obvious. That's pretty clear and obvious, right?
Yeah, that looks clear and obvious to me. And I think what we're looking for is the head to be moved by the hair pull for it to be a penalty or more.
Is that card worthy in your book?
It is for me.
There is a bit of a grab. There is more than a bit of a grab. I don't think it's an egregious pull. I'm not at a degree of danger. Definitely not at high.
Need to pull them out, both out and have a chat, mate.
I think it is worth a penalty. Yes. However, the play has been scored. The try is good, but we're going to have a chat with both players to calm them down and the captains. Okay. After review, there is foul play. Chicago keeps their challenge. However, advantage was gained and the try is scored. Give me number 1, or number 3, and then number 1. Did he get subbed up? Charlie and Paul. Okay, what?
It's up, sub, Paul. It's up.
No, we've already reviewed that. We've already reviewed that. Okay, is he off the field?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to discipline everybody to calm down. Things got a little bit spicy in that play. All right, everyone be cool.
Coming from the side.
Yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about. Just worry about your team. Okay, I don't need you, Ben. All right, behave, relax.
I'm off now.
Okay, you're off now, but everyone needs to be safe. Okay, we're gonna go back for the conversion.
So there you have it. Lucas Rumble going back, Ben Bonasso.
We already reviewed that play. They cannot review a play that was reviewed. It's a different play.
So Chicago keeps the challenge. Somebody spotted that up top, and that's good work to spot that, right?
Okay.
Had to go through multiple angles just to find that.
We have another challenge by DC in this play, 51-40.
Okay.
It's okay. 51-40. Okay, play it here. Yeah. 51-40. This is the exact play that we just reviewed. Play from that end on angle. Play from that end on angle.
So they're looking, we're told, Amelia, if you're still with us, sounds like Charlie Abel is what they're looking at, right?
Yeah, that's what I would think there.
Okay, did you see anything or not?
After review, that's the same incident we just looked at. We just talked to both players. DC loses their challenge.
Yeah, nothing super clear there. Maybe a penalty each way, but Derek said the try stands, so.
Yeah. All right. So after all that, Chicago keeps its challenge. DC loses its challenge in a 33-point match with a conversion kick coming from Chris Hilsenbeck. He was perfect in the first half, 5 for 5 from the tee. Started with a penalty goal and then 4 straight conversions and make it 5 consecutive conversions. And it's 38-3 as Hilsenbeck goes 6 for 6 on the night. Apparently he's chasing Kobe Milne, who had a massive night last night. Here's a try, Bree.
Oh, man, just 3 guys all on the chase. Wall, Webster, Flesh, and Flesh just diving into his teammate's arm, just waiting at the back of the try zone. Man, when you can get and see, this is the hunt, right?
The chase is on.
Faree's been up there the entire time in the #1 spot, but look, Flesh is just chasing him. We'll see what he can do the rest of the night.
Joe Mano, still one more match to play for him.
Stop.
Sitting at 6 a couple times. Joe scored 14 in a season. 1 off the league lead. Said to Dylan Fawcett, I go, you were close a couple times too, but Paulo Bellicano always won that battle, and now you got Hoyland down on his back. Medic out there quickly to tend to him, and
Just hold here.
this is why.
Jimmy, can you just show me that one more time? Because if he does pull him in the air, it's more than a penalty. Just hold here. I'm just looking at it.
Amelia, what's your thought initially seeing that?
It's a late jump. Just show me the landing one more time. From the
They're looking for if it's
right here.
a fair contest, and it looks like it probably isn't because both aren't at the same height, which means that we're going to end up with a penalty plus.
Yep. So it is initially between those 2 white players. They're both going for the ball. You're late jumping. You pull him in the air. He lands not on his feet and dangerous. It's a yellow card. The decision's been made, man. I need you to stay in the game and keep your head. Calm the boys down. We just talked about foul play.
Where the player gets pulled down and he lands on his side or back, that's a yellow card.
Thank you for not doing anything. It's in the air.
So, great call by Amelia.
Just relax.
She nailed it. Peyton Wall in the doghouse, literally. In the sin bin. One of the better marketing ideas I've ever seen anywhere. College, pro, European sports. I mean, this is fabulous. Whoever did this, I hope they got a huge raise. They deserve it. Whoever came up with the idea.
I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen someone in the doghouse, especially a player. I feel like the last person I saw in the doghouse was our very own Alex Corpse.
I was going to say the same thing, BK. So Peyton Wall, the yellow here in the 55th. So they're down a man here. They'll get him back in 10 minutes. So DC trying to make some work here, down by 35. 38-3. They've been down here. They had a good start to the half. 10 minutes right in the heart of the red zone. Ngali trying to touch that one down, instead laid back there. Bonasso's there. Ben Bonasso. He can't get home. Now Lefebvre. Lefebvre, short ball. There they go. That one's home and down. And Old Glory gets its first try in the match. It's Kirby Myhill. It's 38-8 now here in the 56th minute.
And finally, Old Glory has to feel some satisfaction with that one. They get one man off the field, a couple of different carries here. Not to be with this one, but also denied at the line. But then a good little ball coming off of the ruck from Lefebvre. Myhill gets it down. And Old Glory now, they have to pick up the energy even more. They gotta pick it up the pace, right? Especially because you've got these points now. You go back, get the ball back, and keep going, because if they've got any chance in the rest of this match, they've got to keep going and not let Chicago think that that was the last points they're gonna score the rest of the night.
So when Jason Emery struck the ball in the third for a penalty goal, it was his first kick of the year. He's 2 for 2 now. He converts that try and makes it a 38-10 count here. And of course, make it, take it, as I like to say in rugby, they get it right back. To your point, Bree, they need to get something. There's tons of time left in this match.
And look, they've been causing frustration for the Chicago side, right? I'm sure Latho's not happy with just the silly errors there, and the bad man there in the doghouse waiting to get back on the field.
30 seconds,
But you can't let them get back in the game because of your emotions, right? And the discipline that started to creep in the last 5 minutes.
28-point match here in the 57th. Peyton Wall into the bin in the 55th minute. Had a try, did Wall in the 34th. Now here's Hoyland. See if DC can put another passage together here and get into this deficit that's 28 now.
Stay on.
They open the scoring.
Okay, use it.
Emery penalty goal, and it was Hilsenbeck coming back 4 minutes later in the 7th to get it level, and then the Hounds just went on a tear. Here's Webster, another brilliant play in traffic, finds it. Excellent contest indeed, Derek Summers. Here's Bonasso in there, warrior he is, trying to win the battle. DeHaas working it back. That's a tough carry there in tight quarters there.
Thank you.
Big booming carry there. That one taken down to the floor by Rabolo, and here's Ruben DeHaas. I think he might have toe picked there inside of the 22. Kinnevac wrestled down there by Schumacher. And DeHaas still down. I think he's just staying out of the way. Maybe he's not. Reaching for his right leg. Oh boy. Here's Chicago. You're holding your breath on that one. Here's Webster now. 7's background. He can run 9, no problem. He's in there. To it, and they got to stop it as Ruben DeHaas is right in the line of fire. So they are working on his right leg there.
Correct.
Time is off here, Bree.
I'm sorry.
Boy, if you're Chicago, you're holding your breath here as he just gets the attention. Take a look.
Let's do the water break.
First of all, excellent.
Come on, really?
From Webster. He makes it look so easy, Benny.
He does.
Then here, DeHaas coming off of the ruck. And you see he's looking for options and just slips there on the grass. And you know that they've got capable substitutions here.
All right, we'll take a timeout. Hydration break here in the 60th minute. 1 quarter of this match to go. Chicago up 28.
I know.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Second semifinal
Okay, we're good.
in Major League Rugby.
Time on.
Reserves starting to come in. Hydration break there was brought to you by Recover 180, the organic sports hydration drink built for today's athlete. Let's get down to Corbs for some observations and thoughts at this point with 20 to go in the match.
Well, Ben, we've seen a little bit more of a fight back from Old Glory, but it's still the same old story here. Chicago Hounds are putting on a clinic, and for me, what I think is interesting is when you're a head coach like Latham, what do you do with your players? You've got a final potentially in 6 days, where the other team has a 7-day turnaround, but you need an 80-minute sort of performance consistency in your best players to probably win that final. So you're probably torn. Do I take my big pieces off? Do I take just some of them off? How do I want to play it? Because next week, he wants to have that consistency of playing for 80 minutes, but then you also risk-reward injury, a red card, a suspension. There's a lot of dynamics going into problem-solving this, I'm sure, in that coach's booth, considering where the game is, that maybe people wouldn't quite appreciate if they didn't have that inside view as such.
So do you still have the hat on you had during interviews earlier? I'm going to ask you to put your coach's hat on. You're a coach. What would you do? Would you do what they're doing, or would you go the other way?
I would take my guys off. Okay. I'd back them to go 80 the next week. I'd get fresh legs on. I'd manage anyone that has a niggle, anyone that's not got a depth chart behind them where I'm confident that we'll do next man up job mentality. They'd be off on ice, sitting in the recovery room, hydrating, and just getting ready to look at film of the Legion if I was there.
All right, well, you and Chris Latham think exactly alike, Corbs. Good stuff from you, because that's what Latham has done here. I mean, just in the case of Ruben DeHaas there, I mean, one wrong move, and I love that word niggle. It's one of my favorite rugby words in the glossary. But you never know, right? I mean, I would do the same. Here's Chicago. Summer says yes. Another try for the Hounds, and they eclipse the 40-point mark yet again here in 2026. They get home, and it's Lucas Rumble who, dare I say, rumbles his way in.
There you go. I was waiting for a pun from you, Benny.
Got a couple.
Well, we talked about it already. He puts his head where no one else will, truly. But in this case, a lot of guys itching for that try zone, but he just is patient. You can see here, just knows where he can spin his body and is able to back that one literally into the try zone. And just to finish up your point, Benny, just as we were talking, heading into that try, right?
10 seconds.
For guys like Ruben, anyone else who has that niggle, you're going to pull them right off because they need to rest and get ready for next week. But Latho has talked so much about his depth. We talked about it earlier, right? 31 of the 33 guys for the Chicago Hounds team have played this season. So you trust your depth. And those guys that are 16 to 23, and taking a look at the big man right there, 16 to 23, he's got full confidence in those guys. I mean, you talk about a guy like Santi Videla, who's number 23, right? The Chilean international. I mean, you never know what happens right in the finals. You have to rely on those guys, give them those moments as well.
No question. And we started our conversation, Bree, with Chris Latham, and I said to him, I go, take us back to the first meeting you had. And he seemed very happy getting into that conversation. I saw a couple of clips from their match win last week at New England, and he basically talked about a lot of things, but I liked how he talked about, the mission is not done. But to go through any regular season undefeated, you got to take a second or a little bit of time and soak that into the accomplishment you made. I thought it was a fascinating conversation. Here goes Webster. Brock Webster out in space. On to Brown and Noah Brown. Downtown Noah Brown. Right down Michigan Avenue. And the Hounds strike yet again. They've hit 50.
And the crowd is barking in support. Listen to them. Look at them. Just a sea full of green. What a beauty, making it look too easy. Just getting it away from danger, spreading the field. Webster, as he does with so many line breaks, knows he's got his guy in support. Noah Brown, baby.
Downtown Noah Brown.
Thank you.
Getting it done, and yep, they love him in Chicago. Their first ever draft pick. South Bend, Indiana product, and played at Indiana like Peyton Wall. They were teammates together. They're both now in that USA 15s program with Scott Lawrence. Won't be long, and they'll be getting into that group. But first things first, they want to win this Shield here. And again, the heartbreak they had the last 2 years. Last year, losing on the last play of the match. And are you kidding me or what? Another brilliant kick. This one comes from the man born in Santiago, Chile, Santiago Videla. Another look, Bree.
We just talked about it, but Webster just speed to burn, takes it into another gear, and then pins that last defender, and it's just easy days for this guy.
Small.
And
sure is.
And you go back to that first conversation that Latho had with his team, day one. I mean, you asked him, you said,
take us back.
Take us back. Do you acknowledge it right then and there? And he said, yeah, look, the question was, we've got a final at home. How good would that be? Right? You got to acknowledge it right there. It's a carrot that nobody's hiding from. Right from day one. And as we've talked to them throughout the season, it's all been serious, taking care of business 1 week at a time. And right now here, looking pretty good for next week. And boy, it's going to be quite the affair.
TCB indeed. And here's Old Glory. You know, these guys are proud. They're going to play till the final whistle, even though they're down 42 points. They scored first, and then Chicago ripped off the kick from Hilsenbeck, and then 4 tries, led 31-3 at halftime, and now lead 52-10.
Crawling on the ground. Crawling on the ground.
More tweets coming in, and Doug's a good man. We appreciate that. Very kind of you, Doug. Thank you. Hashtag MLR 2026. Giving his life to the sport. Pretty cool, and we appreciate that. Keep the tweets coming. When we're done, Will and the Butcher, Dylan Fawcett, Claudia Bellafato will take you through the post-game portion of this semifinal, which is going to set up for next Sunday night. Championship night here in 2026.
Ben, so lucky you get to celebrate Father's Day with me.
Yeah, I miss another Father's Day. It's just been my life for 30+ years, right? It's part of the deal. It'll be great to be with you and all of our crew, and my son will be watching.
Sorry.
Now 25 years old. We've turned him into a rugby fan as well. Here's Videla, Santiago Videla. I thought it was fascinating when we asked Will McGee, and he said, to be honest, nobody really tried to sign him. I'm like, how does everyone miss on this guy? Amazing.
Well, and it goes back to his playing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when Will McGee was playing for the Austin Gilgronis, shout out to Austin.
Turnover,
his old roommate, Marcelo Torrealba, was the one that got him involved and said, hey, this guy, Santi Videla, you interested in him? And that's how it started the conversation. And look, we had a really enlightening conversation with McGee about how he's recruited, how he's thought about crafting this squad this year, and boy, has he done such an excellent job.
And I think, too, it says a lot about Videla as Daniel plays the ball out to the edge to John Powers, veteran in this league, coaches at St. Bonaventure, great rugby factory in Western New York. But it says a lot about Videla. I mean, he could have went anywhere and be starting. But he's so versatile, and that was the thing that McGee said. He goes, we can play him at 10, we can play him at 11, we can play him at 12, we can play him anywhere in the back line.
And the way that Latho describes him, too, is he's a guy that is just absolute team first. I mean, people use that phrase a lot, but he just is so eager. He's always positive, always brings the energy, and doesn't care whether he's not on the 23. I mean, I'm sure he does, right? But outwardly doesn't care. He just wants what's best for the team, and it just makes it that much easier and even more of a joy to coach a player like that.
Just wants to win, like so many of these men and women that play this great sport. Here in the 67th minute, DC trying to put something together here. Just a one try from Myhill came in the 55th minute. And the penalty goal kick from Emery in the third that opened the scoring, but Chicago was calm. That was the question. Will Chicago put it to him, or will DC give him a battle? And it's been the first to this point here in the 68th.
It was off green backwards, correct? Yeah. Off Off green, backwards. White line out.
DC will have it.
White line out. Off to you.
There's the guy we've just been praising for the last couple of minutes.
Yep. And there's Will McGee. I love when I said, I go, so are you like Billy Bean in the room, man, or what? Like, how's this work? And he said, a little bit. You know, they work together with the coach and the staff and the management. And Will was a guy that really kind of started at the bottom. You see that a lot now in professional sports. Look at Carolina in the NHL. Their general manager, who won a Stanley Cup last night, was a data analyst starting, and that's basically what Will was doing when he started with him. He's worked his way up through the ranks with their franchise.
Yeah, when you got a GM like Will who played, right, it was in your position before, knows exactly what it's like firsthand. I mean, that's the kind of trust that he already was able to establish quickly with each of the players that he was talking about. I mean, I don't think you can credit that enough, because you know, you never know. Look, it's strictly business for these guys, and to have someone like that who's able to manage it, I mean, look, very interesting too. You come into this year and you know that you have more American spots that you need to fill, fewer international spots, and then you think about how do you balance the international spots on a starting 23 week in and week out, right? And that's the challenge that all coaches face. And right now, Chicago trying to play off of turnover ball, but hits the deck, and now back in Albert's hands.
Yep, and he's a guy that Will McGee said, he goes, the guy led the league in gain line carries.
Don't play the 9.
And he's a unit too, like Kinnevac. High draft pick in his early days in this league as Emmanuel Albert. Spun out of there by Michael Baska. Myhill onto the ball. Chicago very comfortable right now, up 42 here as we'll come up on the final 10 minutes in the match. Rumble's still in. You got to figure they'll get him out here at some point, but you never know with Lucas Rumble. He probably wants to play 85 minutes.
That guy's truly the stalwart of this team and of this league.
Well, he may not want to play 85, but he'd play whatever it took. I'll put it that way. Back for Humphreys now. Perry Humphreys tripped up back there by Webster. Den Hoot's still out there. Kinnevac's still out there. Obviously can't get them all out. But the likes of DeHaas and Hilsenbeck, those guys have come out of the match, and they've been out for quite a few minutes now, as we've talked about, with guys like Videla. Baska running at the scrum half, wearing number 21 for Chicago. Nothing doing there on that carry from the center. And this one's intercepted on cue, talking about Baska, and Michael Baska says, thank you very much. I'll take that. I'll trot into the try zone, and I'll do that. Another try for the Chicago Hounds. They came in averaging 7 per match. They're an absolute machine.
Look, McGee says he is the second best scrum half in the league, and just caught sleeping. And Baska was just foaming at the mouth, waiting for that ball. Read that perfectly. Hasn't had a lot of time this season, but boy, he is also a stalwart of Major League Rugby. Also played for the Utah Warriors, but boy, that's just an agonizing way to concede more points for DC.
His 9th career try, his first of this season in what is his 79th career appearance in this league. And Videla, as I often say, easy for me to say, I've never done it, a chip shot, but that truly was for Santiago Videla in most 10s, as he knocks that one through to make it 59-10.
And then 2, where's 2?
Again, the depth of this Chicago side. Obviously, Bree was 6 sides this year, the fewest that the league has ever had, even going back to when it started with 7. And there you see this look up in Old Glory's booth, and it's clearly going to be a tough night for those guys. To me, there's never been a deeper or more talented side than this side. I know some will argue, but and with 6 sides, you can stack it a little bit more, right? It's not as spread out. So that's an argument too, I suppose. But that's my feeling on the Chicago side.
Yeah, and look, you head into next week, and boy, the biggest storyline is going to be, can Chicago finish it off in perfect fashion? And you think about when they played Legion this season in weeks 3 and 8, beat Chicago 48-24 in this stadium in week 3. And then it was a much smaller margin, but still won by 10 in week 8. But boy, I mean, on paper, it's going to be such an interesting, very competitive matchup between these two sides.
Two sides have led Chicago at halftime this season. DC's one of them, California's the other. That was such a huge buildup as Powers takes a shot and it goes backwards. And that we had California that next week, and I want to say one other time in the remainder of the regular season. And to me, you could see they were clearly deflated from not getting that win. But to their credit, they lose at Seattle last week. They go there last night and play their best match of the year, right? So anything is possible, and they can score.
1,000%. I mean, it's going to be, I think we saw it last night, very high scoring affair from both sides.
Yeah.
But California just plays with that expansive game. And look, just bringing the attention back to these two teams here. I mean, obviously, Old Glory's had a tremendously tough day at the office, but I think they came in here knowing there was a ton of adversity that they had to face right from the get-go. Missing their star, number 10. And then you have a late scratch from Callie Martinez. Right now, it's already just adversity just in the first few moments of the game. And here, nice little break. Can he finish it off?
Good ball there, getting it back now. DC, there's Powers. John Powers put together. New York City guy. Now here comes Schumacher, former #1 overall pick, out on the edge. Out there for Humphreys, and Humphreys able to get home and take it down. Second try in the match for DC.
You have a challenge.
And are they going to challenge it being out of bounds? You saw the guys motioning there, but nice little break from Powers. And then coming in support there.
Time off.
Big little hit from
Jimmy,
on Ridgeway.
On-field decision is try.
Let's get a look here, Bree.
Show me this grounding in the corner.
Ooh.
I think that looks good to me. I don't think his feet went out of bounds until after he touched it down, but we will let the expert.
Okay, here's your angle.
Take
tell us.
Rock and roll that.
That looks good on that look, right?
Okay,
right
pause
foot,
it on the grounding.
left foot.
Pause it on the grounding. And then cycle through this end on camera from the back.
Listening here to Derek Summers.
I think we're just looking at the right foot. It's up, it's up, it's up, it's up. I think I'm happy with that. Are we happy?
Happy.
On-field decision, try, stands, kick is good. Max, you're just a little further. Perfect.
So that is the verdict from Derek Summers.
Yeah,
59 to 15 now.
With the full minute.
Perry Humphreys getting home for the 4th time this season, 12th in his career. And you see the faces, Corey Daniel. So much work goes into playing this sport, and certainly these players prepared, ready, focused, and you come out and Chicago just puts it to him. Great kick from Schumacher there. That one drifting. Looked like one of Will Hooley's drives on the golf course. Pretty stuff there. 59-17 now.
I loved seeing Will's reaction in the other camera shot I've got on my screen.
He's smiling. He just gave me a fist pump. I'll see him once the postgame portion of the match is over. I'm looking forward to doing the podcast with Will and Dylan Fawcett tonight. Who knows what'll happen on that?
MLR After Dark, Benny.
You know it. 59-17. 3.5 to play in this one. Chicago on their way to that home final. California Legion, you know they've been watching. You know they'll be ready. That's going to be quite the grudge match,
No,
Bree.
he can't play the 9. He can't play the 9. You're in the ruck. You can't play the 9.
And that tested the mettle, the will of this Chicago side. That second meeting when California had the lead on them and could not hang on. We'll see those two close out the season. Match 33 of the 2026 season next Sunday night on ESPN2. Right here from SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, about 10 miles or thereabouts from downtown Chicago.
Look, I know, Benny, that this is not, certainly not the way that Old Glory would have wanted to finish out their season, but I think also important to note that this is Old Glory's 100th match.
Yeah, great point.
In franchise history in the league.
Yep.
You know, now just crazy. I remember when they first started out back in the 2019 season, and now one of the oldest franchises in the league. You know, great men leading the squad, great owners, and Chris Dunleavy and Paul Sheehy, who are both there at the match.
Yeah, and it's big for the growth of the sport in our country, and that's what they wanted. They wanted it to be as much as it could be American, to represent what their name says, Old Glory, right?
Yeah.
That kick goes into touch. Yeah. And for Simon Cross, he's been in the playoffs
22.
every year he's been the head coach, and they got in last week getting the win over Anthem, and New England was put out of their misery by Noah Brown in Chicago. And downtown, Noah Brown's going to get a free hat, I think, Bree.
That's right. He's my player of the match tonight. Look, he has been outstanding on the wing. The Chicago back three across the board, they just really shut down any semblance that Old Glory was trying to put together of a counterattack. And look at that. 5 carries, 77 meters made. A few clean breaks and a brace on the day. Deserved of those honors. And look, I mean, of course, Chicago had standouts across the board. I think Jake Kinnevac at number 8 also was tremendous, but
look
DC
out
here.
Connor Robinson getting home for the try for Old Glory. Again, no quit in this side. Robinson with his second try touches down. It's 59-22 now in the final minute.
I think draft picks or pickups.
Thank you.
Here we go. Let's get another shot of this. Brilliantly executed on the line out. Great maul from Old Glory. That's exactly what they wanted to do all game. And just, you could see Robinson just being patient. He started against Chicago last time that they played, or actually in week 6, and gets that one down. Scored a try versus California in week 5 and gets another one to his name this season.
Crowd giving it to Max Schumacher, the one-time Cal Bear. Pops that one with the left, and Schumacher has it drift off to the right. So 59-22, and there's the try scorer, Connor Robinson. Speaking of those American guys, he's one of them. Here's another look, Bree.
Yeah, just steam rolls over. Good to see him getting more points to his name. And look, we haven't been able to really talk much about the guys that have come on for Old Glory, but a slew of names are very proud of themselves and the season that they put together for this Old Glory franchise.
Indeed. Into the red here. DC will get their hands on it one more time. Popping one over the top. Baska back there, unable to gather it. Lucas Rumble's got the hair tied up now, had it flowing in the wind throughout the night. Baska to it. Hounds just want to get this thing, and you just heard Derek Summers, are we done? No need to score anymore. There's the ball played back, and there's the kick. It's sent into touch, and the Chicago Hounds call on Reese Bolta to do that. Brock Webster in the final last year, dazzling for New England. This year he'll be in the final with Chicago, and the dream is still alive for Noah Brown. 11-0 for Chicago. Can they cap it off and go 12-0? Be the first side in the history of this league to do it. We'll see and get our answer next Sunday when they'll take on California, Bree.
Excellent display, and you knew that they were going to come out right from the first minute, just absolutely swinging. And what a healthy crowd to show out Monday night of all nights. And boy, next week is going to be the best entertaining night that we could ask for.
It sure will be. 59-22 is the final count in this one. The Hounds take care of business. They're on to the MLR Championship. You can get your championship tickets. Go to MLR.com. Check out the app. Go online. Do all that stuff to get your seats at SeatGeek Stadium next Sunday night, 8 Eastern Time. We'll have the broadcast on ESPN2. For Bree, for Corbs, who you'll see in the post-match portion, Ben Holden saying thanks for watching. Will, the Butcher, and Claudia will bring you home.
What a a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.
Tapped right into the breadbasket there. Back, and what a try for Chicago.
Celebrations in Chicago. They booked their spot in Sunday's championship, which of course is back at SeatGeek Stadium, and they did it in style, 59 points to 22. Victory over Old Glory DC. Myself, Will Hooley, joined here at the desk with Claudia Bellafato and former Chicago Hounds captain and MLR legend Dylan Fawcett. Dylan, from you straight away, convincing. They've been convincing all year. Foot on the throat stuff all the way through to the 80th minute.
What we're seeing here, Will, is something truly special. You know, I reckon this is the best put together squad the MLR has ever seen, and I cannot wait for the next week's final.
Just deflating. I mean, we talked about the fact that Old Glory had been one of the teams to try and keep this competitive the first two games. It just looked like a different team. Does that speak more to Chicago, or are we going to say than it did DC?
Listen, I mean, I do. I feel for DC. It's not the way you want to go out, but like the greatest respect Chicago could show them was that they never gave up till the very end. They wanted to continually build on what they were doing and show everyone what they're made of.
They've scored 77 tries in 11 games. I mean, that stat alone is out of this world. And to tell you who scored a couple of them was the player of the match, Noah Brown. He's down pitch side with our man on the ground, Alex Corbisiero. Over to you, Corbs.
Noah, mate, congratulations on player of the match. But first off, let's just react to that performance there from you and the Hounds.
It's all we could ask for. I was just saying to him before we got on that it's easy to have exciting rugby with the teammates I have here in Chicago, like with Peyton Wall, Brock Webster, Ali, Chris. The whole back line is electric, so it's easy to have a great performance like this.
You can look at me, mate. Don't worry. Don't be camera shy. You know, I got you, brother. I got you. And no, I thought, you know, it was a hard pick through all the back three. But some of your stats, just so you're aware: 5 carries, 77 meters, 2 tries, 3 line breaks. It's a pretty complete performance. Kind of echoes a lot of what I think Chicago brought to the game. I'm probably going to say it, in my opinion, probably the best playoff performance from any team in MLR history.
I mean, those are big shoes to fill. There's been some great performances. But yeah, it's all credit to the boys. I know it's a generic answer, but yeah. I mean, every scrum we go into, we're looking at a pen and then a line out in the 22, so it's awesome for us.
It just shows that complete performance. And let's just look ahead now to the final. Here they are. Dogtown don't disappoint. But yeah, let's look ahead to the final. At home, Legion's going to be a tough ask. But this is what you boys have been gearing up for all year, especially since last year. You've now got to the big dance, and it's on home turf.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've been here, this has been where we've packed it up the last 2 years. So we're all hissing for the big dance, especially here. The crowd gets crazy for it. So it's going to be a big challenge for Legion to come in here and take it.
All right, outstanding stuff, mate. Well done today. Enjoy it. All the best. What a performance, lads. Back to you.
What a performance from Noah Brown. But it was kind of a pick of the bunch. I mean, there was so many good performances today. None more so than the ones that we picked out on the pre-game show. I thought Brock Webster at fullback was outstanding. Lucas Rumble, try scorer, outstanding. Mason Fletch as well, try scorer, brilliant. You know the team is going well when those individual performances are coming everywhere within the collective.
Oh man, it's just it is a joy to watch. You know, I know it's maybe a bit ropey in the first 10 minutes. You know, DC gave it a good go, but you know they just hit another gear. You know, the options that they have in attack. You know, they're relentless. Like everybody is fighting for every moment. So I mean, and they're making it. You know, I'm telling you, next week has the makings of the best rugby game in America's ever seen.
Oh, there you go. Heard it from Dylan Fawcett. Well, those performances have to come from a very good coaching, and head coach Chris Latham is down with Alex Corpusciero, who I'm sure is a very happy and relieved man.
Latho, mate, obviously, what a performance from you and your team. I think complete is a word that is very justified. There's obviously maybe 2 scores or whatever you're probably not going to be happy with, but just a reaction from you, it's got to be a big moment for you and the team.
Yeah, it is. It's this week's felt like 3 probably put together. So yeah, it's nice. It's obviously good. You know, we had some shifts in different locations for this week with trainings and everything else with what's been going around the stadium. So yeah, I came into this game a little bit worried about our focus and where we were, but yeah, no, the boys were fine. You know, that's just me worrying about nothing. But yeah, I'm extremely happy. The way we started, the way we kept in it. Yeah, we let in a couple at the end there, but yeah, we'll be hard on ourselves. But also, yeah, I mean, geez, we're into a final.
Exactly, mate. And I know you've been waiting for that final, obviously, since last season. Just, you know, what does it mean to you, the team, you know, this at home as well? What an opportunity.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said last year didn't still burn. It does. Like, you'd be a liar if you didn't. And yeah, it burns. It burns hard. And yeah, it's like that was on my mind all day. Was just thinking about last year. And it's just nice now to get that monkey. It's gone now. So yeah, I'm just relieved. I'm relieved for the boys because, you know, they turn up and credit to them. They work hard. They work hard off the field. Yeah, it's just a pleasure to come in and coach, and yeah, I'm so proud for them.
And you know, I think you could name pretty much 1 through 23 who had a good game today. So I don't go into individuals, but maybe what are your work-ons in the week, or what are you thinking? Oh, you know, we're going to focus on before this big game. There's not a lot of time with the shorter turnaround.
Yeah, well, obviously we just got to be still a lot more polished in what we do in a couple of areas. We know that. We know the style of game that we're going to get, and we know what we need to do to stop that, and we know what's going to be coming at us. So, again, it's just about making sure that the boys are healthy, they're ready to go mentally, physically, all that, and then, yeah, she's on. I can't wait.
It's going to be a good one, mate. You know, I said that's the best player performance in MLR history. Dylan Fawcett, who says hi, by the way, one-upped me and said that's the best game in American rugby there. I think that was a real credit to you and all the hard work that the whole organisation's put in to be able to play that brand of rugby as well.
It's not for everyone, Dylan, but hey, we got there, mate. Yeah, well, again, I'm not going to make comparisons and all that. It's job's not done. Yeah, just come and see me when the job's done, and you know, maybe. But no, we've got to. Yeah, we've got to be respectful. We've got to play by the game of what the values are in the game, and yeah, we'll turn up next week ready to go.
Yeah, and then just maybe a touch on, we've had Dylan on there. I know he's a big cornerstone of this team. He's been rooting on. He's been really, you know, blowing smoke up you guys, maybe to some, but I think at the same time, just a comment on Dylan as well as a player.
Yeah, I mean, Butch is the heart and soul of this team. And, you know, whether he's here last year and he's not here this year, he is still the heart and soul of this team. He rings the boys, texts the boys, texts me, texts Todd, rings us. Again, that's the connection that rugby has. That's the uniqueness of what rugby is the connection with people, those that are past players that are coming in for the first time, fans. It's all inclusive, and it's what upholds the values of this great game. And Dylan's a fine example of that. And yeah, nothing but love for Dylan.
Awesome stuff, mate. Too right, brother. Go enjoy it, mate, and get back to work. Big one coming up.
It is. Thank you.
No worries. You heard it here first, guys. Big one coming up, and that's a happy man.
Corbs, thanks so much, my man. Oh, look at that. There was an emotional, nearly emotional Dylan Fawcett, and I will say to Chris Latham, you're welcome that I brought Dylan into the studio for the Chicago game.
I'm going to bring it back to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at some of these highlights of today, because 59 points to 22. This highlight reel could go on quite a while.
Yeah.
Tries everywhere from minute 14 with Theo Faree. We talked about how important the maul was going to be, Claudia. We saw it early doors, but it just came in all sorts of different departments.
Yeah, I was going to say that, the set pieces, but with the mauls, the rucks, 98% success rate for them, 100% maul success rate. And when it came to the second pieces, 100% every aspect of the game, Will.
Yeah, when you're looking at this, Dylan, like, yeah, there was a few times where the bounce of the ball was in their favour. But I guess that happens in rugby when you're creating so many chances. And this, by the way, has to be up there, maybe one of the tries of the season.
Well, you know, you make your own luck. You know, the harder you work, the luckier you get. These boys deserve every bit of what they have right now, and they are, like I said, they are building something truly special. You won't want to miss that game next Sunday. If you're in Chicago or you're around, you can get on a flight, get out to this game. It's going to be epic.
They play a very, very exciting brand of rugby. No one has beaten them so far in Major League Rugby this season. And Chris Latham, the head coach, did allude to the fact that it's the big dance on Sunday in their home ground, SeatGeek Stadium. The fans will hopefully get behind them. It'll be exciting. But at what point is the pressure just continually going to build? Does it creep into the mind knowing it's Championship Sunday and they absolutely are the favourites?
It's one more. One more. They've been doing it all year.
But like they said at the start of the game, the 10-0 means nothing because it is just this last game. That's all that matters. And like we said, California kept it close. We'll talk about that. Let's put a bow on what happened here today, okay? Points were scored. Points were scored.
Oh,
at 61 minutes, we all said back here, they're putting up 50 points, and with those 59, the 8 tries. Big difference there in the clean breaks, 14 defenders beaten. I mean, like Will said, you could go on highlights for an hour. You could talk about the stats forever, Dylan.
No, I mean, penalties conceded. If you stay under 10 in any game, you're probably going to win the game. So honestly, the Chicago's discipline, how ruthless they are at the breakdown, just how fast the ball is, put it on the plate, they are producing.
They've been the most disciplined side in the year. That just shows how good they've been. Both sides of the ball and also in their discipline. Corbs, you have been there all day. Man, oh, I thought we were going to see Corbs. Don't worry about Corbs. That's the character I wanted to see. Is that Simba with you? Oh, what a beautiful dog.
Yes, I've got the main man, Simba, Will. It's obviously Dogtown is rocking, and we've got our MVP as the Old Mate Trophy is still in the hands of the Chicago Hounds.
Wow.
As Simba is ready to full
That better be water.
see it off, mate.
Shot.
It is obviously water, guys. Don't you worry about that. But he's seeing it off. But honestly, he's the lifeblood of this team. You talk about the organisation. Huge shout out to Simba. He's my favourite part of the gig by far. And he's absolutely seen it off. So well done, Simba. Back to you guys. Enjoy.
Hey, Corbs, if you can still hear me, I know we have the Supporters Cup this season, but ever since Chicago, I think they played California Legion, wasn't it? That was, I think, our first Sunday night rugby game, where Chicago won it off Legion, and now they've just had it the whole time. They've just kept it. I will get a quick one from you as we do look ahead to California Legion against Chicago, the championship on Sunday. How big is this one going to be? Do Legion have a chance?
You always have a chance at a final, Will. You know that, and I know that. Anyone who's played the game knows it's one day, one moment, one time. Here, let me get this up. And I'll get the old mate in shot because it's worth it. But yeah, Will, for honestly, you know it's going to be competitive. I do think Chicago are setting the benchmark of what is possible in this MLR season, the brand of rugby, the reinforcements they bring off the bench. But we saw something pretty special from the Legion yesterday as well. Yes, they missed some chances. They're going to need to take every chance against the Chicago team. But I think, to me, this is probably the two best teams and probably the best style clash that we could see in a final. That, you know, Chicago's game can play all court, but really we know Legion are going to bring physicality, try and match them in the contact area, and they're going to move the ball around and try and move that big pack around, and it's going to be exciting which way it goes down.
Corbs, we asked you to get on the private jet last night. Now I just need you to book the Airbnb, get the penthouse suite ready because you're going to be in Chicago on Sunday. Thanks for all the work you do, my man. And, of course, Ben Holden, Bree Kim. We will see you at the championship, Mr. Corbusiero.
Cheers, buddy. No, I asked the company for the Will Hooley special package, so apparently I'm getting the full royal treatment tonight, so it'll be a great time. Enjoy, guys.
You'll be
Butch,
sleeping
mate,
on the street.
big love, buddy. Yeah.
Cheers, Corbs. Go
Probably.
Take care, Corbs. Take care.
Bye,
Great
Claudia.
to have the big
Good
man.
to see you as well.
Bye,
dude. He's always got a last word, and he's holding that old mate. I do want to switch a bit of focus before we end the show on Chicago Hounds, California Legion. Corbs mentioned it, just how good that performance was last night by the Legion to beat Seattle in Seattle. This is a side that does not mind playing away from home. They showed that in their playoff game against the Seawolves. We have been impressed with Legion here on Sunday Night Rugby. Yeah. Claudia and I, we've had them a lot. But for you as well, it's a different brand. They have exciting players like Bertrand, Billy Meeks, Kobe Milne, Ben Houston. The list goes on. But it's an almighty task to go to Chicago, the side that is firing at the moment. Your thoughts?
Listen, California can't be worrying about Chicago. They have to stick to their DNA. They have to. I believe in the last few games they played against them, they didn't stick to it. If they believe in what they do and stick to their game plan, it's gonna work as well as it can for them. Now, when you got guys like Billy Meeks on the team, a guy like that, you can do anything. He is one of the ultimate leaders out there. I have the utmost respect for Billy. I love being his teammate. And when you got guys like that in the locker room, he knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to go out there and play in the big dance. And like, it just shapes up for the. Yeah, I do believe it has the makings of being the best game America's ever seen on Sunday.
Well
Pull
said.
yourself now. I know you want to be out there. I know how bad you want to be out there, and clearly you're a huge part of the Chicago team. If you are Legion, though, and you think back to Week 8, you were one of the only teams to have a lead on the Chicago squad at halftime. Is there one weakness you're focusing on heading into Sunday that you can try to expose in Chicago?
I mean, you're hoping that Chicago played the same way they played in the first 10 minutes. You know, they had a few errors and they started kicking for goal, which is not their DNA. You know, they go to the corner, they have the best maul in the league. You know, I have to question what they were doing in the first 10 minutes. I understand it's finals football, but like, don't go away to what's worked all year. You know, like, honestly, if you can get that out of Chicago all game, you're going to have a chance. But I just don't see it happening, Claudia. I do not see it happening. Because
Well,
you know why, Will? It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. Well, look, we will see you at the championship. A reminder, though, for anyone heading to Chicago, there's events on Friday night and Saturday night, as well as the championship Sunday. Who's going to take it? It'll be a brand new winner to MLR. Chicago Hounds have booked their spot to take on California Legion. Sunday's the day. We'll see you there. Wow, it's championship time. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you by Globant, the official digital transformation partner of Major League Rugby. When technology meets passion, the unthinkable happens. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on Sunday at the championship.
What a day for the Major League Rugby Championship.
Months of sacrifice, 80 minutes of battle, and it all starts with this whistle.